The breath of Super 3 Kamba is extremely terrifying. If this place is in the universe, this breath may shock the entire universe. Combat strength. 400 Beijing. I think that when Vegeta first crossed, the strength of the Super 3's breath was only 400 trillion, and that was how Beerus was awakened from his sleep. Today's Super Saiyan Kamba. The aura intensity is 10,000 times that of Super Saiyan Vegeta, which is simply terrifying. What Vegeta didn't know was that this Super 3 Kamba was in the original version, but it unilaterally suppressed Super Blue Vegeta, and forced Super Blue Vegeta to even Kaioken. The original Super Blue Vegeta, the Son Goku from Tournament of Power and Vegeta earrings combined, its strength is unimaginable, and the result is still lost to Super Saiyan Kamba. It's really amazing. The Super 3 status has surpassed Angel. If I hadn't practiced in the realm of gods, I would not be able to compare with him in normal combat power. Sensing the intensity of the Super 3 Kamba breath, Vegeta couldn't help but admire. The fact is also true, although Vegeta's current normal state god realm has 20 Jing, plus the power of rules and incomprehensibility, it can be stronger than the 50 Jing fighting power of the ordinary realm. However, if he strips off the power of the rules and returns to the realm of immortal, his normal combat power is only 100 trillion, which is 100 times weaker than the Kamba normal. Vegeta was admiring, but Son Goku and others were full of shock. The Gold Cooler, who had completely suppressed the Super Blue Vegeta, stopped at this time, and everyone looked at Super Saiyan Kamba with solemn expression. Hey, let's join hands, my goal is not you. Gold Cooler took the initiative. Your goal is Dragon Ball. Son Goku directly nodded in agreement. Everyone has the same goal. It seems that we can only solve Kamba first. He had already noticed that Cooler had no intention of killing them. Hey. Vegeta's face was full of discomfort, he had just been beaten up. But there is no way, although Vegeta is pushing in front, but they can't hold back. Since Cooler doesn't want to fight, they don't need to make extravagances at this time. However, they still underestimated Vegeta, only to this level. Even if Son Goku and others were beaten up next to him, it would not affect Vegeta. Boom. Facing Super 3 Kambas, Vegeta burst into the full energy form of God Realm. The energy of the golden particles exploded, and the hair turned golden, all but the bangs stood upright. Is this Super Saiyan? It doesn't look like it, but it's a bit similar to Super Saiyan God. Son Goku's eyes lit up. Is this the new way to transform Super Saiyan? I don't know if I can learn it. Vados explained to the side. Master Vegeta uses the God Realm of full energy form. In the words you can understand, this should be called the Super Saiyan God. Super Saiyan God. Son Goku and others stared at the same time, roughly understanding what it meant. Surely it is the realm of God. Son Goku clenched his fists, sensing the breath of Vegeta, but there was a sense of enlightenment in his heart. It's not that he understands the way of transforming in the realm of gods, but is more sensitive to the manipulation of God energy, which is good for his ultra instinct. Vegeta is not as good as Son Goku in this respect, but it also has some ideas. Vegeta didn't know that after he burst into full energy form, he could bring some insights to Son Goku and Vegeta. At this time, he had already fought with Chaosan Kamba. The strength of Vegeta's combat power in full energy form also reached 400 Jing. However, in the state of the God Realm, the energy he displayed had the power of the rule origin. So in the face of an attack of this intensity of Super Saiyan Kamba, it seemed more comfortable than before. Boom 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 boom. Every time the two collided, there was a violent explosion in the air, and even the space was a little unstable. The huge chains that bound the 7 planets couldn't help but sway, and it seemed that they couldn't bear the aftermath of this huge force. The huge aura and fierce fighting here have attracted the attention of everyone in the entire prison and planets, and gradually attracted everyone here. When everyone's attention was focused on the battle in the air, and they ignored it for a while. When they reacted, they realized that they were surrounded by others. These people seem to belong to the Frieza Legion. Although Trunks is weak, they have just dealt with Frieza's people recently, so they were the most impressed and immediately recognized them. You guys from Frieza? Cooler's reaction was the fiercest, and he immediately jumped to the front. The opposing leader also stepped forward at this time. Unexpectedly, it was not Frieza, but King Cold. King Cold glanced at Son Goku and others, and finally focused on Cooler, who was still in golden form. His eyes flickered, and he said with a gentle smile, "It's been a long time since I have seen it. It has become reliable, Cooler. My son. Look at this." He fumbled around, took out a 4-planet, and said with a hint of bewilderment, "It's time to fight with the father. Isn't your power for our clan? No, you are fighting for your father? Father, your proposal is very interesting." Cooler grinned. Call out. An air bullet shot from his fingertips instantly and penetrated King Cold's heart. What? Not only did King Cold fail to respond, but those in the Frieza Corps, including Son Goku, also didn't expect Cooler to be so decisive and ruthless, killing King Cold without even saying a word. It's so ridiculous to think about using me. Cooler's probe grabbed the 4 planets in his hands, and said with a wicked smile, I will accept the Dragon Ball with gratitude, so let's stop here, Kurdish King. Boom. A strong breath erupted from Cooler's body, and the Frieza Legion members around him were instantly rushed to death, and the rest of them all screamed and ran away. This guy. Really unacceptable. Trunks gritted his teeth with anger. After all, he hadn't experienced much experience. Except for him, although others were somewhat dissatisfied, they were not too surprised, including Trunks 4-3. For them, whether King Cold or the Frieza army, they are all bad guys. Now Cooler has cleaned them up and saved them a lot of things, so I didn't see them all. It's just that Cooler just beat the Frieza army away, and the surrounding changes regenerate. Countless black mist rose up and enveloped the surrounding area. There are many people in the dark mist, and it looks like there are many people. Everyone is on the cusp of the storm, and it seems that they have become targets of public criticism. This is a lot of trouble. Cold sweat slipped from Son Goku's forehead. Because the guys in the lead are all old acquaintances, Kid Buu, Cell, Slug, Turles. Moreover, Bojack and King Cold, who had just died, were also resurrected under the erosion of this black mist. Boom. Son Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks 4-3 all turned into Super 1 at the first time, launching a defensive counterattack against the fighters in the dark fog. Gold Cooler moved faster, and swept a group of people around him almost instantly. However, what is surprising is that those unknown young men died a large part, but they didn't care much. But those strong men who can be named, when they were attacked, their bodies turned into black mist, and after the attack, they reunited and formed. That kind of appearance is like the elementalization of Pirate World. Puff. Trunks 4-3 split Slug in half with a single sword, but only 2 clouds of black fog remained in place. In the blink of an eye, the black mist recondensed into a slug, and immediately flew towards Trunks 4-3, kicking Trunks 4-3 into flight. Bang bang bang. Son Goku blocked Kid Buu and Turles, and Vegeta was fighting with Cell and Bojack, fisting each other fiercely. They were not as reckless as Trunks 4-3. After finding that the attack was ineffective, they only carried out a defensive battle, while trying to use their ability to destroy these enemies. The strongest ones were blocked by them, and Gold Cooler kept going back and forth in the crowd, almost killing those little ones. Cooler, my son, stop for this king. King Cold gritted his teeth and chased after him. It's a pity that his strength is far less than Cooler, let alone Gold Cooler, he can only eat fart behind. Cooler ignored him, eating away those little guys a little bit, and waiting for the rest to clean up at the end. Bang. 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 In the crowd, Xiao Wu held a shotgun and aimed at those Xiaos who had low combat effectiveness, almost 1 shot per second. Oolong, wearing a woman's underwear, held his head and shivered beside him, shouting, "What the hell is this place? I must be dreaming. Yes, I must be dreaming." Trunks, who was only planning to have a long experience here, suddenly couldn't help seeing Xiao Wu's heroic appearance. "Miss Vados, should I help too?" Trunks looked at Vados. Because Vegeta told him to protect his life first, Trunks never acted without authorization, so naturally he asked Vados first. Vados saw Trunks' thoughts and covered his mouth with a smile. "Yes. But you have to do what you can. If there is a danger, I may not have time to save you. After all, some people are not weaker than me." "Thank you very much, I'll be careful." Trunks thanked him, then took another look at Xiao Wu, and then burst into full energy, and also joined Xiao Wu to clear the team. Compared with those well-known powerhouses, the number of Xiaoyue is too much. At least there are thousands of people. Even if it is not too threatening, it is quite troublesome. They may not succeed, but they are definitely more than enough to fail. If it can be cleaned up, and then it will be much easier to clean up the remaining famous and strong people. Trunks sees it very clearly, and his strength here belongs to the weak. Anyone who jumps out with a little fame can easily slap him, and Trunks doesn't dare to wave casually. Blast. Mix it up. Super 3 Kanba's hands condensed a white ball of light, directly to the high altitude, and a blazing little sun suddenly appeared in the high altitude. "Let you see my serious attitude." Kanba clenched his fists, his eyes flashing red. "What? So you can talk?" Vegeta glanced at the little sun briefly. "Artificial moon. Is this going to transform into a great ape?" Kanba really wants to transform into a great ape, and he is also a golden great ape. His body is undergoing drastic changes, and his energy aura is also frantically improving, once again attracting the attention of everyone present. "What? It's improved again." Son Goku's face was full of shock, and the intensity of this breath made him feel frightened. In fact, Super 1 Kampa is far beyond Son Goku's imagination. Even if he can enter the perfect and comfortable extreme, he may not have played Super 1 Kampa. And now, Kampa has improved on the basis of Super 3. This made Son Goku, who almost touched the ceiling of the universe, quite speechless, followed by a surge of blood. Only by seeing a more powerful master can he be more motivated to practice. I know that. That is. Oolong was holding his head and his face was full of horror. The transformation of Kamba's great ape reminded him of a very bad thing. Roar. Kamba has completely transformed into a golden great ape, with a larger aura spreading than before, making almost everyone unstable. Oolong was scared and yelled, "It really is, it's bigger than expected." Be quiet. Vados tapped Oolong's head with a scepter, and said, "Master Vegeta will take care of it." "No, I want to go home, wow." Oolong held his head shivering again. Boom. The Kamba breath spread, almost blowing away the black mist around him. The little girl who had been nearly half dead died in an instant, and all the bones were gone. Even famous players such as Kid Buu, their physical energy seems to have become unstable. There is a machine over there. Trunks was rushed to the ground by the breath of the great ape Kamba, but unexpectedly discovered that there was a machine in the call, which was emitting black smoke, and suddenly shouted, "Those black mist is sprayed from this machine. Destroying it should be able to wipe out these people completely." As the black mist was blown away by the breath of the great ape Kamba, everyone can see the black smoke machine as long as they pay close attention. Boom. Gold Cooler bounced over with an energy and directly destroyed the machine. Sure enough, as the machine was damaged, the strong-like Kid Buu also disintegrated, turning into black smoke and disappearing. The black mist dissipated, and the place was in a mess. Except for a few of them, there are only Bojack, King Cold, and a part of the Frieza Corps corpses. So, the King Cold and Frieza army just now are real people, but Kid Buu and others are fake. Great help, another time and space me. Trunks 4-3 patted Trunks on the shoulder. Just a moment ago, he was almost killed by Slug. Huh. Yes. Trunks still felt a little awkward. However, it is also pretty good. Although his strength in the future world cannot be compared with Son Goku and Vegeta, he is still quite powerful. Most importantly, there is a beautiful girlfriend. Trunks felt full of energy. By the way, Kamba, have you forgotten one thing? Is it really okay to become a great ape in front of me with such a big fanfare? At this time, Vegeta's voice rang. Roar. The golden great ape Kamba roared like a beast, and slapped Vegeta with his hand. Is the consciousness confused again? I thought it would be easy to negotiate. Baguette sighed helplessly, and while his figure flashed, he walked around behind the golden great ape and stepped directly on it. Boom. The golden great ape was staggered. Although it did not fall, it also stamped its foot on the ground, causing a big pit. However, his reaction was extremely quick. With a strong slap on the ground with one hand, the huge body rose into the sky. Turning his head back, a giant energy bomb spouted from his mouth. It seems that the body is so big, and the movements are quite agile. Vegeta exclaimed, and a Kamehameha was also condensed in his hand and hit it. Boom. The two energy bombs collided with each other and burst into a shocking power, which almost made the entire prison and planet tremble. On the bright side, it seemed that Vegeta was slightly at a disadvantage, but in the end his energy was exhausted, only pushing Vegeta out a long distance. Awesome. The energy intensity has reached 500 Jing. For you who have not become a god, it is really rare. Vegeta did not choose to continue to transform up, although in this state he only has an energy intensity of 400 Jing. But it is enough to hit a giant ape who is unconscious. Before the opponent had time to condense the energy bombs, Vegeta stepped forward and launched a close combat. It has to be said that the golden great ape has no sense of bulkiness at all because of its strong combat power, but rather appears to be extremely flexible. But no matter how flexible, his body shape is always a weakness. Vegeta uses the rules of time and space to constantly flicker around the golden great ape, making the opponent frequently cope with it, and there is almost no power to parry. Bang bang bang. Vegeta flashed again and again, using space restraint and time control from time to time, and the golden great ape was completely passively beaten. However, after transforming into a great ape, Kamba's physique was so strong that even with Vegeta's power, it was still difficult to hurt him, and instead his hands hurt. After attacking, the powerful force constantly oscillated, making the space unstable, and constantly wailing. Click. The aftermath of the force of the collision between the two sides continued to spread, and the huge chain that bound the planet was finally overwhelmed and began to crack, and even the big lock that interlocked the chain began to crack. Son Goku and others have been watching. I thought that Kamba had turned into a great ape, and his strength had improved so much, even Vegeta would have a headache. Unexpectedly, this will be the result in the end. The golden great ape is almost crushed and beaten, and it is completely carried with a powerful body. Roar. The golden great ape was constantly attacked and finally furious. A powerful aura burst out of his body, and black and red energy rose into the sky. Taking advantage of the moment when Vegeta attacked, the golden great ape stiffened a bit, and his tail drew towards Vegeta fiercely. Hey, I just said you forgot something, now I will tell you the answer. Facing the attack of that tail, Vegeta did not choose to retreat, and the tail behind him also flicked towards the thick tail of the golden great ape. Boom. Two tails, one large and one small, were drawn together fiercely, making a thunderous explosion. The extremely powerful energy swept across all directions in an instant, more terrifying than a dozen typhoons, and almost swept away Son Goku and others who had been hiding away. Fortunately, Vados waved the scepter for the first time and set up a barrier, which was able to block these aftermaths. Click. There are more cracks in the giant chain that binds the planet, densely spreading out, and it seems that it will break at any time. Huh. I'm still a little worse than you. Vegeta's body has withdrawn for several kilometers. The front is tough, and it is still a bit disadvantageous compared to the golden giant ape. After all, the energy intensity is not as high as the opponent, and the strength is much smaller. I just don't know, can I transform into a giant ape in the state of God realm? Vegeta grinned and suddenly turned his gaze to the artificial moon high in the sky. He is really curious. After transforming from a normal state, he will become a golden great ape, and his strength is 500 times that of the normal state. Then, after reaching the realm of God, what form will it look like and how much strength can it increase when it becomes a giant ape? I didn't expect this problem before, but now it's just the right time, and Vegeta decided to do an experiment. This frightened Son Goku and others in the distance. Vegeta's current state has been different from that of the golden great ape combat. If he also becomes a great ape, how terrifying would it be? However, Vegeta's wish was not fulfilled because Shijan Universe Point. A cross slashed in the space, and a light and shadow rushed out from it, and his target was the artificial moon. Boom. Vegeta had just looked at the artificial moon, and his tail did react, but the artificial moon exploded before it had absorbed enough bolts light. Fu appeared through the gate of time and space and blew up the artificial moon as soon as he came. Vegeta's erected tail returned to calm, and Kamba also gradually returned to normal from the golden great ape state. You guy, so courageous, dare to show up in front of me? Vegeta raised his brows slightly. At this time, Fu's image is different from the last time he met. His hair is upside down, and his forehead has only a fringe. It looks like Saiyan's transformation into a Super 2, but there is no energy release around his body. So, this is my fighting form. Fu's expression looked a lot more serious, not as exaggerated as it was when we first met. I'm sorry, the experiment is temporarily suspended. He looked at Vegeta and said, I judged your power wrongly. It is my fault for not grasping the data properly. Although it is very interesting, it destroyed the prison planet after all. It's still very troublesome. The appearance of Fu is related to the cracks in the chains. If Vegeta and Kamba are allowed to fight, those chains will be completely broken, and then the seal of the prison planet will be broken in advance. Since Futch did such a drama, of course he didn't want to see the seal being broken by the aftermath of the battle. According to the script he wrote, the goal of these people should be to compete for the Dragon Ball. After the 7 Dragon Balls are collected, they can unlock the seal and leave the prison and planet. After talking so much, in fact, the point is, do you think this form can ignore me, right? Vegeta had just finished speaking, and his figure had appeared behind Fu in a flash, with a whip leg. Throw it out. Boom. Father turned around in an instant, folded his hands in front of him, and even though he was pulled out by Vegeta, he was completely blocked. Can't say that. Fu's expression did not change at all, and he said lightly, it should be said that you were my experiment from the beginning to the end. As an experiment, you should follow my arrangements carefully. Boom. An unusually terrifying breath suddenly burst out of Fu's body. Fu's energy aura swept wildly, although he was condensed in his body without spreading in all directions, but the horrible feeling pressured everyone to breathe hard. Only then did they realize that this Fu is really not easy. Moreover, the energy surrounding him was a breath of God, but with evil attributes. Boom. The same huge burst of energy, but the intensity is far from comparable to that of Ephraim. Ah. Kamba, who had recovered from the normal state, instantly entered the Super 3 state, and suddenly shot up. His goal is Fu. Fu's expression was still calm, but he glanced at Chaosan Kamba with a faint look. Huh. The space splits, and there are 2 more black daggers in his hand. Slash with 2 swords the blade of surprise. Fu flickered past, and the rushing figure of Super Saiyan Kamba suddenly froze in the air. Chi-chi. Cross-cut blood spurted out of Chaosan Kamba. Kamba's eyes widened, his golden hair gradually returned to black, and his body fell from high altitude. Okay. So strong. Impressive. Son Goku and others were stunned, and even forgot everything about them. The strength of this vulture has refreshed their understanding of the strong. Such a powerful Super Saiyan Kamba was killed by him with a single move. It seems that even Vegeta can't do it, right? Obviously I said that it will be temporarily suspended, really. Fu's expression was still flat, but his mouth was complaining, and then he said, anyway. Disband now, everyone will be honest until the repair is completed. From beginning to end, he didn't look at Vegeta again. It seemed that he really regarded Vegeta as an experiment like Son Goku and the others. Haha. Is it 1.5 guy? It's really amazing. No wonder you dare to fight time and space and make trouble here. Seeing this, Vegeta couldn't help laughing. If he only had the combat effectiveness that he showed just now, it would not be surprising that Fuchs had such an attitude towards him. After all, he has fallen into a disadvantage in the battle with the Golden Great Ape Kamba, and he has not seen him use more powerful forces. Perhaps in FR's cognition, Vegeta is at this level. There may be hidden power, but at most it is the blasting skill. With a little increase in buff, where can it be stronger? The combat strength of 400 Jing can't catch up with 1.5 guy no matter how much it improves, right? It's a pity that Vegeta's strength is far stronger than Veer imagined. Huh. The power of time and space was activated, and Vegeta's figure disappeared in place. Do you still want to resist? Fu noticed it for the first time. After all, it is 1.5 guy combat power, and it is also in the realm of gods, and it also has the power of time and space. However, the next moment when Vegeta came out of time and space and punched Fu, his face changed drastically for the first time. What? There was a look on Fu's face, more disbelief, and a trace of panic. However, even if he had subconsciously set up 2 daggers to resist, Vegeta's fist easily passed through the 2 daggers and hit his face with a punch. Boom. Fu was hit by Vegeta with a fist, his body spinning at high speed like a spiral. I saw that Vegeta's figure disappeared again, and the next time he appeared on the top of F, and then stepped heavily on it. Rumble. Vegeta's body was stepped into the ground, arousing dust in the sky, and the ground was exploded into a huge pit. Haha. Sometimes it takes hard power to pretend to be Beep, and to pretend to be Beep without strength is pure silly Beep. Vegeta, who is in the Super 4 Gods realm, hugged his hands on his chest and looked down at Fu who was trapped in the earth. Vegeta, who is in the Super 4 Gods realm, has a full 2 guy combat power. Although it is only 0.5 guy higher than the original, it seems that the ratio is not large. However, Fu is just the ordinary god realm, or should be said to be the devil god realm. Can it be compared with Vegeta? Learn about the fighting rules. Perfect and free to understand. Coupled with the sneak attack that caught Foul's surprise, the opponent did not die on the spot, and it was already the result of Vegeta's retention. In the distance, Son Goku and others collectively fell into a petrified state. At this time, they had become a background board, a group of stunned friends. There was nothing to say. Cough, cough. Fu lay in the ruins, coughing up purple blood from his mouth. At this time, his condition was quite bad, and the upside-down hair was scattered again. When the hair exploded, it was the same as Super Air. Now it is back to normal, but it is automatically tied into a ponytail, and I don't know what the ghost setting is. You actually have such power. I underestimated you. Fu coughed up blood again, but his panic expression returned to calm. However, although this experiment is not perfect, it still has unexpected gains. I also want to thank Master Gods of Destruction for his help. A wicked smile appeared at the corner of Fu's mouth. Vegeta frowned. At this time, you're still pretending to be Beep. Did you engrave the Beep attribute into your bone marrow? I really thought I didn't find out. Your so-called experiment is actually collecting strong men in battle. That's all the scattered energy. Although I don't know what you want to do, it's nothing more than resurrecting the strong. Doppler has done this kind of thing once. Vegeta had noticed it at the beginning, but he didn't care at all. Isn't it Majin Buu? Even if a super demon god Buu is created, what about it? Have the ability to kill Zeno. As long as the opponent cannot collapse the positive universe, Vegeta can solve it. Even if you can't fight for a while, and you still can't stand up for development, can you fight again later? Saiyan likes to challenge the impossible. The stronger the opponent, the better. At the height of Vegeta, it is very difficult to raise an opponent. You guessed it. Fu's pupils collapsed instantly, his face could no longer remain calm, and gradually climbed into fear. Vegeta's careless expression finally made him realize the problem. The gods of destruction at this time was far more terrifying than he had imagined, and he was not in his control at all. It's ridiculous that he thought he could put the other party around at will, and at first he laughed and laughed like a clown. Looking back now, the other party didn't even look at him, he was really just a clown. Child, you are still too young. Vegeta fell from the air and patted Fu on the shoulder with his toes. For an instant, Fu's figure was shaken, and his face was covered with fear again. On the power of time and space, I am your ancestor. You keep showing off in front of me again and again. Is my gods of destruction fake? Vegeta showed a playful expression on his face. After successfully traversing time and space in front of me the first 2 times, I thought it was amazing. Before, Vegeta just didn't care about it, but now he still wants to use this ability to slip under his nose. How can there be such a simple thing? Boom. Surprisingly, Kamba stood up again in a rage. After he paused for a while, a huge black-red energy bullet was condensed in his hands, directly hitting Vegeta's direction, of course also including the seriously injured Fr. This guy really can't beat Shao Qiang. Vegeta could not help but sigh slightly. Although Foul's attack did not kill him, it also dissipated the energy of Kamba. Even if I changed to Son Goku, he would not be able to stand up for a while. I didn't expect Kamba to be able to fight again so quickly. However, Kamba's condition is not very good now, and his breath has dropped a lot. In the form of Vegeta's current Super 4 God realm, facing an attack of this level, he couldn't even avoid it. Huh. 2 red figures suddenly stood in front of Vegeta, blocking the energy bomb of Kamba. Super 4 Son Goku, Super 4 Vegeta, debut. This group of guys actually broke into the prison deliberately by themselves, watchers of history, time and space patrols. Still seriously injured and fell to the ground, Fr, who had not found a chance to escape, was a little unhappy when he saw 2 Super 4 appearing. It seems that they have already played against each other. Sorry, Mr. Vegeta, we are a step late. Super 4 Son Goku seemed a little smug in his eyebrows. Super 4 Vegeta said, "Idiot, do you really think that this level of attack will hurt him? Didn't you see that he is also in Super 4 form?" Huh. Super 4 Son Goku glanced back at Vegeta. The little pride just disappeared, and he drooped his head and said, "Ah, Mr. Vegeta can even turn Super 4, it's us. Is it unnecessary?" Super 4 Vegeta hugged his arms and said, "No matter how you say, it's a combined fighter of the 2 of us. Isn't it right that we are better than us?" Even though he said that, Vegeta has always resisted merging with Son Goku. Seeing that Vegeta in another time and space has not disintegrated, and has become the gods of destruction, his mood is quite unhappy. I said, "Can you 2 stop talking to yourself? Also, Vegeta, what is your expression? How can you say that you are now a time-space patrol under me? You don't even call Master Vegeta." A door was torn open in the space, and a little pink loli came out from it, and it was Supreme Kai Kaiyan of the time. "See Master Vegeta." She bowed to Vegeta, and then scolded Super 4 Vegeta. "Don't you see that I have to call Master Vegeta? You still do it obediently, because you want me to dismiss you?" Super 4 Vegeta's face turned dark, and under the smirk of Super 4 Son Goku next to him, he was reluctant to salute Vegeta. "See Master Vegeta." Super 4 Vegeta lowered his haughty head slightly, but the blue veins on his forehead jumped, showing how reluctant he was at this moment. Huh. Vegeta's figure flashed and appeared in front of Kamba in an instant. Bang bang bang. A series of attacks hit Kamba without resistance. After a few moves, Kamba completely lay on the ground, with more air intake and less air, and I was afraid that he would never be able to get up again in a short time. Vegeta grabbed Kamba's tail in one hand and dragged Shiran back. Super 4 Vegeta's expression froze, his original reluctance instantly converged, and the look of Vegeta looked at Vegeta with a hint of awe. Vegeta threw Kamba next to Fu, looked at Kain and said, "Did you always deal with things like this before? Get a helper before the accident, and then come out to pick the peaches after the problem is solved?" Kain blushed a little when Vegeta said with shame, "The battle should have been Lord Gods of Destruction's job, but the rest of the matter is left to me." "The best you can handle." Vegeta gave her a deep look, but didn't say much. The prison star problem was basically solved here. Under the supervision of Kain, Son Goku 4-8 and Vegeta 4-8, 2 spacetime patrolmen under her hand, took the seriously injured Fu and Kamba away. At this time, the outer seal was already shaky in the battle just now, and it was still able to enter and leave by himself with Kaiyan's ability. However, this place is in time and space after all, and there are still a lot of powerful people who have been arrested, and they are not able to leave the prison and star. So in the end, Son Goku and Vegeta from the time and space, with the help of Trunks 4-3 and Cooler, swept everyone on the prison and planet, and completely collected the 7 Dragon Balls. "You turned out to be Son Goku. Did you grow up to become so powerful? Oolong, with a pair of women's underwear on his head, realized only then, and his face was full of amazement. I thought to myself, when I return to my time and space, do I have to find Goku to hug my thigh? He is indeed an Oolong, but he summoned Shenron for the first time on Earth, wishing for an Oolong from that period of women's underwear. So he only knew Goku when he was a child, and the relationship between the two parties is not very good. As for why he appeared in the jail planet, it was because the transformation ability made Fu curious and brought him over easily. Son Goku scratched his head and smiled. I didn't expect that you turned out to be the Oolong at that time. No wonder you didn't know me. At first I thought I had recognized the wrong person. Huh. There is no pig of this breed on the Earth, except for him. Where can I find a second one? Vegeta doesn't care too much about a marginal figure like Oolong, he is purely to refute Son Goku. Oolong was about to curse subconsciously. You are a breeding pig, and your whole family is a breeding pig. However, after the contact, he already knew that Vegeta was not a good-tempered person, and he only dared to scold him in his heart. If he really wanted to scold him, it might not be a problem of breeding pigs, but suckling pigs. Seeing Oolong's suffocated face, Son Goku and others burst into laughter. During their collection of the 7 Dragon Balls, Vegeta didn't make any more moves, but took Trunks back to the soy sauce. The main reason is that he is a little curious about Prison Planet, a planet opened up in time and space. By the way, let Trunks open his eyes and grow up at a faster rate, so that he can be better helped in the future. The Super 4 Son Goku and Super 4 Vegeta under Kaien's hands also had the experience of Super Game God transformation, but after Beerus left the Earth, they did not go to Whis to practice, and finally took a different path. Because the timeline is later and the basic combat effectiveness is very high, after transforming into Super 4, it has completely surpassed Gods of Destruction Beerus. 2 Beerus-level spacetime patrols can help Kaien handle most things. As the dignified Gods of Destruction, Vegeta's people are at least better than Kaien's. Therefore, he decided to train Trunks first, at least surpassing Son Goku 4-8 and Vegeta 4-8. Master Vegeta, there is something. Vados stopped talking. Vegeta retracted his gaze to look at the prison star. Let's talk about it. Do you want to cover it up with me? No, I'm mainly worried that Master Vegeta will be angry. Vados cautiously said. Master Kaien sent a message that they were attacked on the way back to the Lair of Time, and both Fu and Kamba were rescued. Vegeta was not too surprised. In fact, he had guessed that this would be the result early on. Kamba is a very useful pawn, and Fu's status in the Dark World is certainly not low. Since the two of them are not dead, there must be someone to rescue them. This is beyond doubt. Even if these two people have been planted, even if the people who came to save them are not as strong as them, at least they should have some magical and unexpected abilities. According to Son Goku and Vegeta's unreliable urine setting, it is not surprising to be rescued from under their hands. In fact, Vegeta just wants to put Fu back and see how the follow-up will develop. Otherwise, when he was subduing the opponent, he would directly send him to hell, where he would keep it. Just like what he said to Fu, what is great is that the Devil Realm resurrects a powerful creature. Can there be even worse results? The most important thing is that once the strength of the resurrected creature exceeds the limit, Vegeta may be able to understand the strength of the Grand Priest, or even the limit of Zeno. However, he would not say these thoughts. So for Vados' words, he just shrugged and said, save it, it's a trivial character, it's the Nest of Time. Is it Kaien's kennel? Is it also in time-space? Hearing Vegeta's description of Time's Nest as Kaien's kennel, Vados couldn't help but let out a chuckle. She suppressed a smile and said, in the early years, Master Kaien had just become the Supreme Kai of Time, and his abilities were not very strong yet. Grand Priest Master deliberately opened up a square of time, which is also convenient for other people to find Master Kaien when there is a coordinate. The Nest of Time was continued to be opened up on the foundation of the Square of Time, and it is indeed the personal space of Lord Kaien. After seeing the setting of Prison Planet, Vegeta was already wondering if he would create a space by himself to use it as his residence. In this way, people from different time and space can also get together, and his wife can all be arranged there. Now listening to Vados saying this, he immediately decided to go to the Nest of Time and see what Kaien's kennel is like. At this time, after Son Goku and the others greeted them, they had sent everyone back to their time and space through Dragon Ball, including themselves. Then, let's go to the Lair of Time to take a look. Vegeta commanded Vados. A wrecking ball condensed from his fingertips and hit it in the direction of the prison planet. Wherever the wrecking ball passed, the entire space was instantly annihilated and collapsed, turning into fly ash and disappearing, leaving no trace. Yes, Lord Vegeta. Vados waved his scepter and led Vegeta and Trunks into the spacetime tunnel. Vegeta took a look at Trunks and said, when the matter here is finished, you should go back to your time and space first, and solve all the problems there, and then report again. Trunks froze for a moment, and his face suddenly showed joy. Although following Vegeta during this period of time, his strength has improved a lot, and his vision has also been widened, but he still remembers his own time and space in the bottom of his heart. Thank you, Mr. Vegeta. As long as you eliminate the humanoids, I can rest assured to follow Mr. Vegeta. I will definitely work hard in the future. Trunks immediately showed his loyalty. In fact, he already knows how big Vegeta's situation is. As long as he follows Vegeta, his future is absolutely unimaginable. Vegeta smiled and said, "The cyborgs are to be eliminated, and your time and space must be arranged. Then let Supreme Kai help you find the location of Namek, and use Namek's Dragon Ball to resurrect Son Goku and the others. If there is a problem, there is no need to rely on you alone." Trunks froze for a moment, and then was overjoyed. Seeing that Son Goku and Vegeta in different time and space have such powerful strengths, to be honest, he is really envious. That kind of point. It's just that he didn't know that Namek's Dragon Ball could be used. Even if he thought of it, he didn't know the location, so he never used this method in the original book. Now that he has become Vegeta's subordinate, it is much easier to contact Supreme Kai, and it is only a trivial matter to ask Supreme Kai to help find the location of Namek. Thank you, Mr. Vegeta. Trunks thanked again, even grateful, and was so excited that he wanted to return to his time and space immediately. As they spoke, they had already arrived at the Times Square. This is a big square with some huge pillars. It is a bit similar to the square in front of Xeno Palace, but with a different style. Go straight inside, and you'll arrive at Kaien's private domain, the Nest of Time. The place is good, but the layout is a bit smaller. Vegeta took a look and made such a judgment. The Nest of Time is not small, but it is similar to a manor, with a front yard and a backyard, and some buildings. Vegeta thinks that since this is the residence of Time's Supreme Kai, it should be at least planetary level, right? It's worse than Bulma's family. What kind of time and space is this god? You are too slow. People have been rescued. What's the point of coming here now? Kaien walked over, complaining with a gloomy expression on his face. I'm not here to help you. Vegeta glanced at her. Kaien's face was full of depression, and it seemed that he had suffered a lot. However, Vegeta didn't understand her. Instead he grinned and said, "Actually, I'm here to see your jokes." Puff. Vados smirked and twisted his head away. Kaien's face flushed red immediately, and he kicked at Vegeta angrily. She is short, and she feels like a teenage child. This action does look a little cute. Vegeta grabbed her ankle with a simple poke, then lifted it upside down. Fortunately, even though she had skirt-style clothes on the outside, she still had safety pants inside, otherwise she would be gone. Let go of me. Kaien immediately struggled violently, his face flushed with bleeding. The Supreme Kai of the dignified time was actually so rectified by Vegeta, and it was still in front of other people. OMG. Kaien snarled frantically in her heart, so embarrassed that she wanted to find a way to get in. It's not good to provoke. Why do you want to provoke this guy? I know I can't beat him. Vegeta didn't do anything to Kaien, and made her return to the ground with a single flick. Tell me what happened before. Vegeta turned his head and looked at the surroundings. Said it is the environment. In fact, there is nothing good about it. The main reason is to sense the structure of this space. Vegeta has decided to open up a space of his own in time and space. Kaien didn't dare to provoke Vegeta again, so he explained the previous incident in detail. It was Fu's parents, Mila and Tova, who came to rob people. Tova is the younger sister of the Demon King Doppler and a scientist in the Dark Demon. Mila is an artificial human made by Tova, who gave birth to Ephesus through gene synthesis. Their purpose is not yet known, but they all seem to have gained the power of the demon god, reaching the realm of the demon god, and at least their strength is at the gods of destruction level. They easily defeated Super 4 Son Goku and Super 4 Vegeta and managed to save them. Because the process was so short, Kaien was rescued before he even reacted. Fortunately, the other party's purpose is only to save people, otherwise Kaien may be able to get away at the time, but the lives of Son Goku and Vegeta are about to be accounted for. Now they have returned to the demon realm and cannot be tracked temporarily, so I let Goku and Vegeta go back first. The people of the demon realm should not appear again in a short time, but I don't know what they are planning in secret. They must find a way to investigate clearly. Okay. Kaien frowned, with a worried look on his face. For these, Vegeta didn't care very much. People in the Dragon Ball world are very simple. Anyway, it is to improve their strength, and then just be hard. No matter what the people in the demon world are planning, the final result is to come up with a powerful person, and then run out to conquer the real universe. As long as the people in the universe can defeat that powerful enemy, the process is not important at all. However, Vegeta's current strength is not enough. Even Fu has a combat power of 1.5 gaps. At the beginning, he was too underestimated by Vegeta and was attacked unsuspectingly. If Vegeta did it again, it wouldn't be that simple if he could solve FR. Therefore, Vegeta has to find a way to improve his strength. Maybe the enemy who comes again next time will have a strength of more than 10 Gai or even more. I'll leave the investigation to you. In order to prevent accidents, I will find a way to improve my strength. After Vegeta finished speaking, he was ready to flash. He has already figured out how to improve his strength in the future. Although he couldn't increase the energy fusion to 100% in a short time, the 0.1% in the end was really stuck. But in addition to energy fusion, he has another option, which can also make a qualitative change in his strength again in a short period of time. As long as it can be successful, the level of 10 Gai should be achieved. Wait. Kain suddenly called Vegeta and exclaimed, "There is another problem in the fourth spacetime." What the hell? Vegeta couldn't help but be stunned. Didn't they retreat to the demon realm? The specific situation is unclear, but several universes have been devastatingly destroyed. Kain said with a solemn expression. Universe-level destruction? Vegeta asked. What about their gods of destruction? A touch of embarrassment appeared on Kain's face. Zeno called gods of destruction away. At this time, something went wrong. You can only fight with the strong in the universe, but... That's it. Vegeta didn't care. No matter what Zeno calls gods of destruction, since those who dare to attack the universe, I am afraid they will not be afraid of gods of destruction. Moreover, in each universe, there are individual powerhouses who can reach or even exceed the gods of destruction level, such as Jiren, Toppo, Hit, Son Goku and others. But now that several universes have been destroyed, indicating that they are somewhat unable to hold them, so even if those gods of destruction are there, they may not be able to hold them. Okay, this fourth time and space is really chaotic, let me go. Vegeta murmured a little bit, then looked at Trunks and said, you don't go this time, or you won't be able to take care of you, so you can go back to your own time and space to deal with the problem of the humanoid. Okay, Lord Vegeta. Although Trunks also wanted to see the destructive power of destroying the universe level, he was very aware of his own limitations. This time the level of danger is probably still higher than the prison planet. Even if he goes, he won't be of much help. Bring your saber. Vegeta beckoned, and the saber that Trunks carried behind him immediately came into his hand. This sword is not a famous sword or has any special features. The material is ordinary and the performance is also ordinary. It is just an ordinary soldier made by Bulma using earth materials. In the beginning, it was to make Trunks self-defense, but after Trunks got used to it, many of his fighting methods were reflected in swordsmanship, and his fists and feet were weaker, so he kept it with him. Vegeta used the power of his own rules to reforge the saber, and replaced the material with casting steel, the hardest universe, to greatly increase its hardness and sharpness. Of course, this is not Vegeta's main purpose, it is completely smooth. He mainly added the rules of time and space to this sword, so that it has the ability to open the door of time and space and travel freely through time and space. After all, the limitations of the time machine are too great, and once used it will create a different parallel time and space, which is completely useless. Since Trunks has become his time-space patrolman, he must have the ability to travel through time and space, otherwise this position will be wasted. He wouldn't be like Kain. Every time he sends a space-time patrol, he has to pick it up by himself. Then why do he need a space-time patrol? Is it just thugs and bodyguards, or rather, summoned beasts? Okay, take a closer look, and you will know how to use it. But remember not to use it indiscriminately, otherwise it will cause turbulence in time and space, which will have very serious consequences. Vegeta made another mark on it and combined this sword with Veto's angel's staff is networked. To put it simply, as long as Trunks uses the power of time and space above, Veto's can detect it, and there is also GPS positioning, and can see the time and space where Trunks is located at any time. On this point, Trunks will of course have no opinion. It is just positioning, not video surveillance. It will not infringe on privacy, but instead has the meaning of protecting him. I understand, Master Vegeta, it will definitely not cause you trouble. Trunks promised Vegeta after he thanked him. In this regard, Vegeta believes that in the entire Dragon Ball world, the most reliable person is still a big one. After all, it is a person who came out of the Doomsday world by himself. Calm, persevering, with all the indicators of qualified fighters. The fourth time in space, the seventh universe, the Earth. A universe spacecraft landed, and a young man with brown hair came out from it. This is the seventh universe. The landing place is really far from the city. I heard it all. He spread his hands and sighed in intoxication, wail of unfree humans. I found you, Has. At this time, 3 human figures not far away appeared through instant transmission. They were Son Goku, Vegeta, and Supreme Kai Shin from the 7th universe. So fast, have you caught up? Has turned around. Supreme Kai said with a serious expression. What are you trying to do with the technology of the 3rd universe? Yes. Let's talk to you gods. Has said with a gentle expression, smiling. My purpose is to give mankind freedom from the hands of you gods. For this, we must first liberate the closed desire deep in the human heart. With the technology of the 3rd universe, it is possible to do so. Vegeta didn't listen at all. You don't understand what you are saying. Has patiently explained. Under the rules set by the gods, human beings survive, and if they unconsciously close their own desires, don't they feel very sad? People should live according to their own desires. I want to keep human beings alive. Desire is liberated, for which it must be erased from the root. The root cause? Supreme Kai's expression was shocked. It stands at the apex of the gods Zeno. Haz's words shook the sky and the sea. His goal turned out to be Zeno. The expressions of the 3 of Son Goku changed drastically, but they didn't expect this guy to have such big ambitions. Want to say that it can't be? I know how terrible that guy is. Hars smiled indifferently, spreading his hands, and a transparent cube appeared on each palm. However, as long as the energy to turn this into reality can be filled. However, no one cares what Has wants to do. Since he knows his ambition, he can't face it easily. Just in case, I went to the place where Miss Bulma was and called everyone to evacuate. Supreme Kai immediately galloped away. He knows his own strength, and staying there is no help at all. On the contrary, it is more reliable to do some logistical work. Fight together, Vegeta? Son Goku clenched his fist. The fighting cells in his body were constantly active. Vegeta instantly exploded and said coldly, don't be kidding. Let's compare it to see who defeats him first. Son Goku won't let his opponent out this time. He also exploded into a super blue state, and rushed towards Has first. Not to be outdone, Vegeta also entered a super blue state. However, the attack of the two was easily seen through by Has, and the series of onslaught did not even touch the corner of Has's clothes. Has simply raised his breath, and easily knocked the two of them off. Then he spread his hands, and the 2 transparent cubes that appeared in the palm of his hand instantly expanded, accommodating Son Goku and Vegeta. The barrier of gravity. You can't even move a finger, right? In this square, there is gravity tens of thousands of times heavier than this planet. Has snapped his fingers, and several energy bullets split into several directions towards Son Goku and the others. Boom 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 boom. With continuous explosions, Son Goku and the others had no ability to dodge, and they screamed again and again by those energy bombs. The impact from the outside will increase its power exponentially. Has smiled, his face calm and calm. In the blink of an eye, Son Goku and Vegeta were already lying in the cube with breath. His clothes were tattered, his body was covered with scars, and he was back to normal at the same time. The strength gap between the two sides is simply one world at a time. Don't think about it. 2 figures flew from outside the sky and smashed heavily to the ground. The figures revealed were Jiren and Hit. They rushed over from other universes through the instant transmission of the 6th universe Supreme Kai. As for their own universe, it has been ruined so badly. The 7th universe is the last stop. The hatred in my universe, just report it here, Jiren said with a cold face. Hit also said coolly, same, and I still have a personal grievance to pay. Haz's men went to the 6th universe first, and Vegeta helped in the past. Although the battle was not over, the Haz group moved, but the 6th universe has been destroyed. Hit is here to avenge and pay back the favor. Jiren's situation was similar, but before he came, he had defeated several of Haz's men. Boom. Jiren walked to the sides of the 2 cubes and squeezed hard, and the 2 cubes immediately shattered, freeing Son Goku and Vegeta from inside. You are the rumored Jiren? Haz didn't care about Jiren's actions, but said, the 11th universe should have my companion. Which trash fish are you talking about? Jiren said blankly. Haz frowned, using mind reading to listen to Jiren's heart. That's it, it's stronger than the rumors. Haz stretched out his hand, and another cube stood up, trapping Jiren inside. Even if it can be broken from the outside, it won't go so smoothly inside. Hit took advantage of this moment to rush over. You don't have a long memory too. Haz dodged Hit's attack indifferently. This little trick like Flash doesn't work for me. When he finished speaking, he hit Hit again in the face. What? I did hear his voice. Why does his attack still work? Hazy hadn't figured it out yet, and was immediately attacked by Hit, but this time he understood. That's it. In order to guard against my mind reading skills, did you switch the attack direction instantly within 0.2 seconds of the time stop? Hey, good job. Boom. On the other side, Jiren burst out suddenly, shattering the cube from the inside, and also shocked Has. How is it possible? I actually broke the barrier of gravity with my own strength. The performances of both Jiren and Hit were a bit beyond what Has had expected. Under the joint attack of the two, they fell short for a while. The performance of these two people is much better than Son Goku. Of course, because of the big difference in strength, they still failed to bring harm to Has. At this time, Hazy's movements suddenly stopped, and he stopped. It was just that before Jiren and Hit attacked, a strange energy burst out suddenly. Glass storm. The crystal-like glass blooms on all sides with Has as the center, condensing into a flower of glass, but the attack power is very shocking, and it is extremely sharp. Jiren and Hit drew back quickly, and the advantage they had gained instantly disappeared. The glass flower disappeared, and a petite and lovely girl appeared beside Has. Thank you for a great help, Laguz. It's so happy to be praised by Master Has. After Laguz appeared, other partners of Has also appeared. Kamin, Olean, Zamasu, and Kamba. November Universe Supreme Kai Kai also appeared with Toppo, Dispo and Trunks 4-3. What's the matter? Jiren frowned. Before he came to the 7th universe, he had already taken down Kamin and Olean, and Date also solved Zamasu. As for Kamba, it was not in the 11th universe at the time. Dispo came over and explained. We were deceived. Zamasu is immortal. After being resurrected, he attacked us and saved the two people. Zamasu. Jiren also felt a headache for this immortal body. He had fought with Zamasu for a long time before, and the opponent recovered as soon as he was injured. Xiaoqiang was completely unkillable, but his own physical strength was constantly being consumed. But before that, wasn't he infighting with Laguz? After being crystallized, he was shattered by Date again? It can be resurrected like this. I am immortal, no matter how you can kill me, even Zeno can't erase me. Fit Zamasu answered Jiren's words for Dispo with a wicked smile. Master Has, about Zamasu. Laguz reported, he tried to encroach on the seed of the universe, but I crystallized him, but he didn't expect to be resurrected. As expected, are you still betrayed? What a pity. Has did have a pity on his face and asked, then why do you want to save Carmen and the others? Don't get me wrong. Zamasu had a high expression on his face. We just have the same purpose, so we are working together for the time being, and there is no betrayal. But since something that moved you has been discovered, I will make some compensation. Is this a fame? Has didn't care, waved his hand. Forget it, it's not a big deal anyway, I won't care about it for the time being. The main goal now is to get rid of these people before you can complete the final steps. Laguz reminded. Hazy-sama, Zamasu and us are not of one mind. It doesn't matter. Has waved his hand and said, he will recognize reality. Laguz shrugged and didn't say much, but instead took out a crystal and gave it to Has. The energy is about to be full, and the 7th universe is missing. Very good. Then you are responsible for collecting energy, and we will leave the rest to us. Has's always calm face also has a touch of excitement. Yes, Master Has. The crystal in Laguz's hand is called the Seed of the Universe, which can absorb the power of the universe and accumulate immense power. Has wants to compete with Zeno, relying on this universe seed. Jiren and others are not clear about this, but they also know that Has and others are carrying out some very harmful conspiracies that must be stopped before the other party succeeds. As a result, the fighting broke out again. Toppo and Dispo teamed up to fight Kamba. Kamin and Olean were blocked by Piccolo and Android 17, and the remaining Son Goku, Vegeta, Jiren and Hit joined forces to fight against Has. As for Zamasu, Trunks 4-3 is still playing against it. The two are already old opponents and have fought back and forth many times. The strength of Trunks 4-3 has also been continuously improved through the battle with Zamasu. Obviously, even Jiren would feel a headache for the upper fit. No matter how hard Trunks 4-3 worked, it was still weaker after all, first showing its failure. Kamin and Olean are life forms made by ZVR people, just like Baby in GT Time and Space. However, although they will also possess the body, their main ability is to fit together. The twin brothers and sisters formed Kamin Olean, which can even compete with the Super Blue Vegeta. Therefore, after being driven into danger by Piccolo and Android 17, they used a combination of tricks. The situation was reversed in an instant, and Piccolo and number 17 were also in crisis. There is no doubt about Kamba's strength. He originally belonged to the Hazy team, was taken to the prison by Falcon to cooperate with an experiment, and then he was sent back. His normal combat effectiveness has already reached the threshold of gods of destruction. As long as he breaks out of the Super 1 state, he can sling Toppo and Dispo, not to mention that he is unconscious, and quickly runs away after the battle, directly entering the Super 3 state. The crisis faced by Toppo and Dispo is much greater than the others. However, in the several battlefields, the gap reflected by Has is the biggest. Has just stood on the spot, and the cubes were manipulated so handily by him, flying randomly in the sky. Son Goku, they can't break through the cubes, they will be hit if they are not careful. The gravity is more than 10,000 times, and the impact force will be multiplied. It is completely a one-sided battle, even close to Has. However, Jiren's abilities are somewhat restrained by Has. He who has cultivated incomprehensiveness is very powerful in energy control. Regarding the explosive power within the unit, even Has can't match him. So every time those cubes approached, they would be easily destroyed by Jiren, and gravity did not affect Jiren. Had it not been for helping a few pig teammates around him, he might have rushed in front of Has. Son Goku, can you still use the trick in the Tournament of Power? Jiren glanced at Son Goku, who was surrounded by danger. Son Goku was actually very aggrieved. Hearing this, he immediately said, "Yes, but I can't hold on for too long. We must fight quickly." Jiren looked up at the sky. Legoshi held the seed of the universe in both hands, and light continued to converge on it, with a deep and powerful sense of oppression. Son Goku already understood what Jiren meant, and instantly switched to a state of self-consciousness. Boom. A powerful breath erupted from Jiren's body, and his clothes burst into pieces in an instant. The two of Son Goku and Son Goku rushed to Has in an instant, flanking them from left to right. Ultra Instinct plus phaseless free work. Two powers far beyond the gods of destruction level suddenly erupted, and even Has did not expect that he was caught off guard for a while. Vegeta and Hit were freed, and did not follow to pincer Has, but after a glance at the battlefield, they went to help others separately. Vegeta burst into dark blue mode, rescued Trunks 4-3, and slammed Zamasu to the ground. All the aggrieved from Hazy just now vented on his body. Hit's flashing time just restrained the unconscious Kamba, so even if the strength is not as strong as the opponent, he still played Kamba around and rescued Toppo and Dispo. However, in the previous battle, both Toppo were seriously injured, and they were really unable to continue fighting. Fortunately, Piccolo and number 17 are not easy to follow, and under the cooperation of the two, they actually suppressed Kaminoleon in turn. The situation on the entire battlefield reversed again at this moment. It's really an amazing battle. In time and space, Vegeta and Vados are watching the battle quietly. Because the level of the battle is too high, although the earth has not been broken, it has also become a ruin, and there is no more vitality. Only a few more important people were brought to the Supreme Kai world by Supreme Kai, such as Bulma, Son Gohan and others. Son Gohan and the others wanted to save more people, so they didn't join the battle. However, in the process of transportation, the Earth's environment continued to change because of the battle, and the people on the Earth died one after another. In the end, not many people were saved. They can only carry out a strategic shift, and leave the battle to Son Goku and others. They are considering the aftermath of the battle and prepare the Dragon Ball in advance. It is. Vados also said with some emotion, the strength of the Has group is really strong. If they don't gather the strong men in these universes to stop them, their purpose will be easy to succeed. Vegeta smiled and said, the first step plan is indeed easy to succeed. Even if Son Goku and Jiren are blocked, it will soon succeed. Unfortunately, the follow-up plan is too naive. The universe seed that draws on the origin of the universe, although the 12 universes have been destroyed, the accumulated power is indeed a lot. It's a pity that this power is only stronger for people with low strength. Even Vegeta looked down on it, let alone used it against Zeno. The reason why Has believes that the universe seed can deal with Zeno is probably because the power of the universe seed can resist Zeno's elimination ability, right? In Vegeta's induction, the power contained in the universe faintly contained certain rules of the universe, which corresponded to the rules contained in the universe after Zeno gave him a god. If the elimination ability of Zeno is regarded as the destruction of gods of destruction, then the universe rule in the seed of the universe is the creation of Supreme Kai. As long as you have the universe seed, you can jump out of the ranks of being eliminated. Vegeta was not interested in the power of the universe, but was interested in the rules. For a moment, he actually had the idea of forcibly snatching, but in the end he suppressed the idea. Because he knows very well, don't watch Hazy make such a fuss, the 12 universes are almost destroyed by him. But what he did was definitely in the perception of Grand Priest. As long as the Grand Priest is willing, he can kill the Has gang at any time. The reason why I haven't shot now may be because I don't think it is necessary, or it may be to test something. Once Vegeta took a snatch, he might have violated a taboo, and now he is not ready to fight the Grand Priest or Zeno. However, if you don't know it clearly, you can perceive the universe rules in the universe through some obscure means, copy them roughly, and then comprehend them yourself later. It is not the first time that Vegeta has done it with the power of comprehension of the rules. It's almost time. Vegeta glanced outside. Deep Blue Vegeta beat the fit Zamasu into doubting life, completely losing the desire to fight. Hit relied on his flashing ability to break through the defense of the Super 3 Kanba little by little, and finally defeated the Kanba. Cameo lost to Piccolo, joined forces on the 17th, and was forced to disintegrate. Even has no resistance under the joint efforts of Son Goku and Jiren. Although he hasn't suffered much trauma, they can't do anything with Son Goku. But Haz's goal has been achieved. With the help of Lagus, the energy of the universe has been fully charged. Oh. Is it finally done? Seed of the universe. Has become quite irritable under the attacks of Son Goku and Jiren. At this time, he feels the energy in the seed of the universe, and he is immediately overjoyed. Gravity burst. Boom. With Hazy's body as the center, the gravity of the entire surrounding space has been changed. Although Son Goku and Jiren were in an extremely strong state at this time, they were still unsteady in the face of tens of thousands of times of gravity, and they were directly pressed down on the ground. This kind of all-around gravity, they can't use skills to deal with it, they can only forcefully contend. But Haz didn't take the opportunity to counterattack, and his body shot up into the sky, and he came to Laguzi's position all of a sudden. The speed of a figure is faster than that of Haz, and it is the first to rush towards the seed of the universe full of energy. This person is really Zamasu. Don't want to succeed. Laguzi raised her hand, and two glass beams extended from the palm of her hand, spreading rapidly, turning into a huge crystal wall. Chi sickle cut. Fit Zamasu's hand is an air sickle, easily breaking through the crystal wall. Laguzi's energy just now was focused on the energy accumulation of the universe seed. Although she was prepared for the fit up, she couldn't use her full strength when she shot it, and it happened to be caught by the fit up. Otherwise, relying on the strength of the fit and piercing, eliminating the immortal body, it will be about the same level as Chameleon. How could it be Lagus' opponent? Super gravity threshold. However, when the ensemble Zamasu was about to touch the seed of the universe, a cube enveloped him. Obviously, the seed of universe is right in front of him, but Zamasu can no longer make progress. Boom boom boom. There was a series of explosions inside the cube. This thing was much harder than when dealing with Son Goku and Vegeta. Zamasu's body was suddenly exploded to the point of no bones. At the same time, Hazy was a little behind, but put his hand on the universe seed first. Boom. The incomparably huge energy aura spread instantly, bursting into a fiery light on the spot. That powerful aura pushed everyone around him far away, including Laguzi. As for Zamasu, who had no bones left, he was nowhere to be found, and he could not be resurrected. The reason why Zeno failed to erase the fit Zamasu was because he was out of the position of God and was not in the ranks of Zeno's elimination. And he himself reached the realm of gods, able to resist with the power of his own rules. At the beginning, Zeno eliminated the 12 universes of the future world, and the body of Zamasu was also destroyed. Later, it was restored through genetic modification. This time, the effect of Hazy's supergravity threshold is similar to that of the time. Under supergravity, the body that fits into the body can't even have a complete cell left, and the body can no longer recover on its own. The saddest thing is that the energy of the universe seed just exploded, instantly destroying his unattached soul. So this time, Zamasu was too dead to die. Seeing that the time was right, Vegeta did not continue to hide. It's just that as soon as he came out of time and space, a figure hit him. I accidentally picked up a little loli. Vegeta stretched out his hand and stopped Lagus, who was swept by the energy. What? Who are you? Lagus was startled, looking at Vegeta and Vados warily. At this time, Haz absorbed the energy of the universe seed, and his breath increased a lot, because the energy had not been absorbed for a while, and almost everyone was swept away. Vegeta and Vados are not too far from the location of the energy burst, even closer than everyone else. But they just floated there quietly, seemingly unaffected by them. The most important thing is that after Lagus approached, she was not affected by the energy, which shocked her. The strength of these two people is probably far above her. Who are they? Vegeta looked at her up and down, and had to say that the girl was still very good looking. She looked like ice crystals as a whole, and looked exquisite and translucent. But what interests Vegeta is her ability to convert energy into glass for manipulation, and also convert other substances into glass, which is simply vitrification and glass production. No matter how it looks like the blood succession boundary in Hokage. I'm in love with you, should I do something under my hands? Baguette said with interest. Vados at the back was slightly taken aback, but didn't say anything. Vegeta had this kind of power. Inexplicable guy. Lagus frowned. From her standpoint, it should be done directly at this time, because Vegeta must be an enemy or not a friend. Even if she couldn't take Vegeta and Vados, she would at least help Has to test the depth first. But in the end she forcibly endured it. Because she had a feeling, facing these two guys who appeared suddenly, I'm afraid she was going to plunge into it before she felt the depth. In response, Vegeta just smiled, did not say anything, and turned to look at the center of the energy burst. At this time, the energy has gradually converged, and Haz's figure is slowly revealed, his image has changed. Just seeing this look, Vegeta almost couldn't help but F*K. Has turned golden all over, with barbs on his back, and universe seed inlaid on his chest, which looks a bit similar to Super Omega Shenron. What makes Vegeta speechless is that Hazy is surrounded by 12 green spheres, symbolizing the 12 universes, but Vegeta looks like a jade for the truth, right? Well, if you insist, Chu Dao Jade is black, and the number is only 9, and the volume is larger. Stop it in one go. With the palm of his hand down, Has squeezed his fist slightly, and a huge pit suddenly burst into the ground. The power in his body was enough to destroy the universe. Master Has. Legoshi was pleased on her face and rushed over immediately. Among Hazy's men, only Legoshi is still intact. Kamin, Olean, and Kamba have been knocked down, lying on the ground reluctantly. However, Laguz hadn't reached Hazy's side, but Hazy's figure flashed, and he was already in the middle of Son Goku and others. What? Son Goku and the others didn't react at all, and a powerful breath burst out of Has, which rushed everyone away. Ha ha ha. This power is really great. Has, enjoying his own power, opened his arms and said intoxicated, I am the ultimate god killer. F*K him. Son Goku and others looked at each other and burst out with all their strength to take out their strongest tricks. It is a pity that everyone was easily defeated under the power of Has. Old grandson, Vegeta, we can only use that trick now, let's delay time. Piccolo said to Son Goku and Vegeta, and rushed to Has again desperately. Although Vegeta wasn't very willing, even Jiren couldn't hold the power of Has now, and had no choice but fusion. It's amazing, Master Has. Laguz looked very excited in the distance, completely forgetting the embarrassing scene just now. But Vegeta sighed, is my sense of existence so low? Vados chuckled and said, Master Vegeta is indeed too low-key. Because Vegeta is always so passive, he will fight back only when things come to his door, and usually looks like an ordinary person. Even in such a scene, he did not release his breath, he was naturally covered by the chaotic energy, and he would not be spotted without looking at it with the naked eye. But since the fight had already started over there, Vegeta naturally didn't have the idea of getting in, so let's watch the play first. Soon, Son Goku and Vegeta merged into Gogeta. Super Blue Gogeta joined the battle, and the situation immediately improved. Although he was not able to press Has to fight, he also withstood the attack from the front. With such strength, you can defeat Xeno and fight for human freedom with me. Has recognized Gogeta's strength. Super Blue Gogeta has a serious face. I don't understand what you were saying at all, I am free enough. You just didn't realize it. Why not be free? Hazy laughed, his body rose into the sky, and soon a huge meteorite was summoned. You and this planet will disappear together. Super Blue Gogeta exploded with all his strength, but failed to take the meteorite. Jiren, Hit, Piccolo and others stepped forward to help, and everyone worked together and finally crushed the meteorite. However, under Hazy's dive, Jiren and the others were all beaten up, only Super Blue Gogeta punched him, looking evenly divided. Don't you have any limits? Hazy saw Jiren and the others struggling to stand up one by one, but grinned. It's great, that's interesting. Boom 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 boom. Has fought fiercely with Super Blue Gogeta. Wherever he went, the ground continued to explode, and almost the entire planet's surface was plowed. Jiren and others can no longer get in, and they are not in a good state at this time. It is not easy to be able to struggle to stand up. The strength of the battle is about 1000 kyo. After returning from the prison and planet, Son Goku and the others have improved a lot. But at this level, it is a joke to say that Xeno is defeated. Vegeta watched their battle and couldn't help. The dark feeling is funny. Vados said. That's no way. After all, they have never reached this height. If they are raised to such a level with external force, they will definitely expand. This is also the reason why Vegeta doesn't like the energy of the universe. After all, the external force is an external force, which is still much different from what he cultivated. This level is enough. Let's end it. At this moment, Has suddenly stopped his movements and spread his hands. The bodies of Kamin, Olean, and Kamba quickly flew towards him, and quickly merged into his body. Has's breath exploded again. Cut. Master Hazy. Laguz was also involuntarily flying over there under the lead of Has, but when she saw Kamin, Olean and the others, she was shocked. This is the person I am after, you can't move. With a flash of Vegeta's figure, Laguz was already stopped. It was also at this time that people such as Hazy and Son Goku discovered Vegeta. Who are you? Has frowned. He didn't perceive Vegeta's breath, but his instinct told him that this person is definitely not simple, and may even be stronger than the Super Blue Vegeta. Master Vegeta? Super Blue Vegeta recognized it, and his face suddenly showed joy. Originally, he was under great pressure when fighting the extreme state of Has. He might lose at any time and would disintegrate at any time. How could he have thought that Has could fuse Kamin, Ulian, and Kamba as well? Now that the strength has greatly increased, Super Blue Vegeta may not be an opponent at all. At this moment he didn't know what to do, but he didn't expect Vegeta to show up. Boo. Perhaps it was because of my heart that Vegeta disintegrated, and was divided into Son Goku and Vegeta again. Leave it to me next. Vegeta glanced at them and said lightly. Yes, Master Vegeta. Son Goku and Vegeta would naturally have no objection. Even if I like to fight, I've been addicted just now. On the contrary, with Vegeta taking the shot, they can rest assured that the matter is settled. The performance of Vegeta on the prison planet last time was still fresh in their memory, and their strength was completely indescribable. Master Has. Laguz looked at Has sadly. Obviously she is a person who admires Has so much, but in order to improve her strength, Has actually wants to merge her. This kind of fusion is different from Son Goku and Vegeta's, but is completely dedicated to life. At least in Laguz's view, the situation has not yet reached that point. It can only be said that as early as the beginning, Has had planned to absorb all of them. For our unanimous dream, Laguz, come on, let us fight for the freedom of mankind together. Has's words were very confusing. It's a pity that Vegeta naturally exudes the aura of the gods of destruction of time, and that little bewitching power can't erode in it all, so Laguz was not deceived. Master Has, if you say it directly, even if you let me contribute my life, I am willing. However, you use this method. Forgive me for not being able to do it. Ragu said in a low mood. Watching he gave Vegeta a look, and flew back slowly, turning out to go to Vados. Vegeta couldn't help but smile. Although he was not too obsessed with Laguz, it was of course a good thing to be able to subdue a little beauty with outstanding ability. I have to say that Has is really a god assist, otherwise the result might not be so smooth. Hey, forget it, it's enough to have such strength. Seeing Laguz's reaction, Has didn't chase him anymore, and turned to look at Vegeta. Although I can't feel your strength, I can sense that you should be a god, right? Seventh universe, the gods of destruction is Beerus. Which one are you? Gods of destruction, Vegeta. Vegeta roughly judged the strength of Has, and then entered the realm of the Super Two Gods. With a bang, the three-color flame energy of gold, orange, and red rose up from his body, and his hair stood upright, leaving only a strand of bangs, and his hair color was rendered red. Except for the difference in energy form and color, the appearance looks similar to Chao Er. There are so many transformations of Mr. Vegeta. What kind of shape is this? It feels like it is not as powerful as the last time. Son Goku sighed in the distance. Vegeta snorted and said, idiot, even though Has said he was going to kill Zeno, his strength is obviously not as strong as that of Fu. Naturally, Master Vegeta doesn't need to use all his strength. Is that so? Son Goku scratched his head and sighed softly. I thought that Vegeta after fusion could already have a fight with Mr. Vegeta. It turned out to be so much worse. In fact, this is just his own hypnosis, and he still knows that there is a big gap between the two sides. Cut. If it weren't for Has, I wouldn't do that ugly action with you, Vegeta said proudly. So, this is the reason why you didn't use this trick in Tournament of Power. Jiren walked over. Originally, he wanted to ask why Son Goku and Vegeta didn't have fusion in the Tournament of Power. Now there's no need to ask, Vegeta himself said the reason. Haha, we actually want to fight on our own, Son Goku smirked. Gods of destruction of time. That's how it is. Seeing Vegeta's burst of power, Hazy said with a solemn expression on his face, after my strength has increased, I just plan to kill a god first. Let's start with you. Boom. The golden flames on Hazy's body are more intense, his hair gradually becomes thicker and longer, and there are more red and yellow stripes on his face. This is the extra feature after absorbing Kamba, Kamin, and Ulian, and their auras have also complemented each other, reaching the level of qualitative change. 5000 Jing. This is the ultimate combat power of Has, which is indeed remarkable. With this kind of strength, the title of God Killer is indeed okay, but if you want to bring down Zeno, you are two sitting in the sky. Vegeta's figure flashed, and he appeared in front of Has. Boom. The two sides simply punched, the air blasted out, and the two moved back at the same time. I can't hear your heart. This is the first time. Has showed excitement on his face. He doesn't think he will lose at all, so the stronger Vegeta is, the more fulfilling he will be when he kills. If you fight with me, you will refresh a lot for the first time. Vegeta chuckled and punched to the side, but it penetrated the space and hit Haz directly in the chest from a long distance. Boom. Haz was so disturbed by the punch that he almost squirted out a mouthful of blood. What is your ability? Space. The expression on Haz's face became more serious, his hands spread out to the sides, and cubes emerged around his body. Gravity vortex. Countless cubes circled together, spinning at an extremely fast speed, and rolled up a whirlpool of ki blast. This ability not only defended him, but also launched an attack on Vegeta. Nice ability. Vegeta raised his brows, and he had an energy sword in his hand, and slashed directly from the front. Bang 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 bang. The energy sword touched the whirlpool ki blast, and the cubes exploded under the energy sword. A series of explosions sounded, blasting the space around Vegeta a little unstable. Replaced by someone else, I'm afraid these explosions alone would be enough to cause him serious injury. It's a pity that Haz's opponent is Vegeta. The perfect incomprehensibility has been integrated into the body, and the energy explosion is directly drawn aside, without causing any harm to him at all. What Vegeta fears most is energy attacks. Asterisk the end of gravity. Seeing Vegeta easily resolve his tricks, Haz's expression changed, and he immediately threw out countless cubes. The cube he threw out was condensed into an extremely huge golden cube at high altitude, which was directly pressed down from above. At the same time, countless cubes appeared on the ground, with extremely terrifying gravity, surrounding the target. This gravity multiple is afraid that it has reached 50,000 times, right? It's terrifying. Vegeta's body became extremely heavy. With his strength, under 50,000 times of gravity, it was still difficult to move. But it's time to let you know what the real horror is. Vegeta stretched out his right hand, revealing a bracelet on his wrist, which was the gravity bracelet made by Bulma in the first place. The number displayed on the bracelet at the moment is 10,000. Vegeta pressed lightly on the bracelet to temporarily turn off gravity, and his energy exploded wildly at this moment. 4,000 Jing. 0.5000 Jing. 0.6000 Jing. 0.8000 Jing. 1 G. And this is not the limit, it's just that after raising it to this level, Vegeta suddenly opened the gravity bracelet again, and the energy was suppressed again. The gravity bracelet has been worn on his hand since Bulma was made. Over the past 2 years, he didn't seem to have practiced much, but his body has been bearing gravity, and it will increase by multiples every time. By now, it has reached 10,000 times. However, if Haz hadn't suddenly made a 50,000-fold gravitational superposition, Vegeta couldn't bear it for a while, and he really didn't want to get rid of the shackles. As the saying goes, the harder you suppress, the harder you will rebound. He just wanted to see how far the energy would be tempered when gravity had no effect on him, and then he lifted gravity. Just turned off the gravity for a short while, and the rebound of energy made him directly explode by 2.5 times. I don't know how far he can go after it is completely relieved. But this was Vegeta's killer, no one told him, and he planned to continue suppressing it. Hey, although it has improved a lot, but this 10,000 times superimposes 50,000 times, it is really horrible, it should be 500 million times gravity. Who will believe it? Vegeta did a little calculation, he felt incredible, 500 million times the gravity, he could barely persevere. Of course, it's not that he can withstand 500 million times of gravity, but under this gravity, he won't be pressed down instantly. After all, 10,000 times the gravity, he has not yet reached the level of full adaptation, 500 million times is really too terrifying. These things only happened in a moment, and no one noticed Vegeta's movements, but he sensed that his energy had increased a lot in a moment. Rumble. At this time, the huge golden cube in the sky had fallen down. In conjunction with super gravity, this trick is also quite terrifying. But at this time, Vegeta was able to easily resist the force of gravity after unfolding incomprehension. So facing the pressed golden cube, Vegeta didn't make any extra moves, and directly chose to be hard. Dragon Fist broke out. The powerful force was concentrated in the center of his fist, and Vegeta's body seemed to be transformed into a golden Shenron, roaring into the sky, breaking the golden cube without any suspense, and rushing through the middle. Boom. The golden cube was broken, and the energy suddenly exploded. A huge mushroom cloud exploded on the spot, and the whole earth was constantly trembling. The earth at this time was already full of holes, but everyone still had to keep the battlefield, and all the energy bursts were controlled above the surface. But even so, the Earth's star core was also destroyed by the shaking, and the Earth could not hold on for long. How is this possible? Haz showed an incredulous look on his face. He knows how powerful the trick is just now, but he urged the energy in the 12 universe seeds to complete this trick. Even if he faced such an attack himself, he couldn't stop it at all. As a result, Vegeta didn't even hurt a single hair, and he didn't even seem to consume too much energy, so he cracked it like this. You. Who are you? Has finally realized the problem, a hint of horror on his face. Huh. With a grasp of Vegeta's detective hand, the space in front of him cracked, went straight through the void, and caught Has in front of him. Boosted to one guy's combat power, coupled with the incomprehensibility and the power of rules, has no ability to resist at all. Didn't I already tell you? I am the gods of destruction, Vegeta. Vegeta grabbed Has with one hand and lifted him up, with one hand facing the universe seed on his chest. Gods of destruction of time. Gods of destruction can reach this point. I really have to sit on the well and watch the sky. The spirited look of has long since disappeared, and what is left is a look of despair and despair. You do it. He knew what he would end up after being defeated, and he was mentally prepared before he started. Master Has. In the distance, Legoshi subconsciously rushed over. Just before she could act, Vegeta's voice rang behind her. If I were you, this time would not have passed. Vegeta said with a faint smile. Whether you are going to intercede for him or accompany him to death, it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't do you any good. You can only get psychological comfort at best. But if you stay here, you will gain even more. Legoshi's complexion was cloudy for a while, but finally she still didn't take that step. In fact, Laguz has no special relationship with Hazy, it's all because she is attracted to Hazy's ideals and goals and worships Hazy's heroism. But after Has absorbed Kamba, Kamin and Olean in order to improve his strength, the cult has changed unknowingly. Can a person who can achieve his goal by any means, regardless of the life and death of his partners, be called a hero? Now think about it, isn't it the same with the seed of the universe? Said it was to liberate human beings from the rule of God and let them be free. But before that, in order to harvest the seeds of the universe, the homeland of mankind was ruined so badly. During this period, I don't know how many creatures died. How can this behavior be called a hero? After all, Has is just a careerist in a hero's coat. Zeno can destroy a universe at will according to the mood. I just want to liberate humans from this bondage. Just like Son Goku, they can shine so brightly after they exceed their limits, so I, like humans. Has is still going through the final narcissism. Although the words are beautiful, but the behavior is completely contrary to these words. It is really ironic. Boom. Vegeta's energy bomb directly destroyed the seed of the universe, returning the energy of the 12 universes to the universe itself. Destroying the seed of the universe, Has also died, and his body dissipated directly in the universe. Human beings have human existence, gods have God's laws, and the universe naturally has its own order. No matter what the purpose is, if you have to break these things, it will only make everything out of balance. Vegeta's voice rang from the heavens and the earth, only to hear him say indifferently, Zamasu and Has, one wants to destroy mankind, the other wants to destroy God, for great reasons, but in the end they are just to satisfy their own selfish desires. The purpose is not. No matter how pure it is, the result will only be worse than the original, so you must take it as a warning. Yes, Master Vegeta. Son Goku and others immediately showed solemn expressions, and their eyes looked at Vegeta with a trace of awe. Some people may not be able to fully understand what Vegeta meant, but after just listening to it, they felt that they were very tall and magnificent, and they all kept them in mind secretly. In addition to being wary of yourself not to go wrong, you can also write down and reprimand latecomers. Even Laguz, who was initially a little sad, had a dazed look at this moment. After a while, the gaze towards Vegeta gradually became a little hotter. In this regard, Vegeta was secretly happy. Can he say these words are utter nonsense? It was purely to pretend to beep. What the hell is the balance of the universe? What does it have to do with him? The reason is really simple. Zamasu and Hatsuki have ambitions, but they don't have the matching strength and IQ. Regardless of the former or the latter, their biggest obstacle is Zeno. However, let alone competing with Zeno, they are not even as good as the top powerhouses in the universe. How can they succeed? If it's Vegeta, he will definitely fight in the early stage, even if it's not a good person to be a good person, and when his strength is about to accumulate, he will rise again. Isn't the chance of success greater? It's a pity that they don't understand this truth. Zamasu's goal was to eliminate all humans, but he eliminated God first. Even if he succeeds in the end, he is the only creature left in all universes. What's the point at that time? Vegeta really couldn't understand Zamasu's brain circuit. Has did things even better, and directly collapsed the 12 universes, absorbing the origin of the universe. The power of the universe seed is indeed powerful, but under such a high profile, as long as the Grand Priest is willing, he can slap to death at any time before he succeeds. The Grand Priest didn't appear during the whole process. Isn't the answer obvious? With the seed of the universe, Zeno can't be pulled off the horse at all. However, these things have nothing to do with Vegeta. He has already got what he wants, so he doesn't stay here anymore. Naturally, someone else would do the finishing touches. He, Vados, and Lagus left the fourth time and space. Master Vegeta, are we going back? Vados used Angel's staff to take Vegeta and Lagus through time and space. Vegeta thought for a while and said, go to the square of time. The time square is right at the junction of time and space. No matter which time and space you go to, the time spent is relatively the same, so the Grand Priest opened the time square there. At this time, Vegeta intends to open up a space of his own there. After all, the time and space there are relatively stable. With this foundation, Vegeta can open up a larger space while consuming the same energy. As for privacy, as long as the ban is strong enough to prevent others from entering and leaving without authorization. He doesn't need to hide his home, anyway, and the number of people or gods who can come to this place is really limited. After arriving at the place, Vegeta had a rough sense and chose the position on the other side of the layer of time, without affecting each other. Opening up another space in time and space is not something that can be done simply. It requires a deeper understanding of the rules of time and space. However, among the known people, except for the unknown strength of Grand Priest, others are not as strong as Vegeta in terms of time and space rules. Even Fu can open up a prison planet, although it is possible to borrow some tools, but Vegeta can open up a planet by himself. Of course, this planet is definitely not at the level of King Kai Star. It's a pity that Vegeta's thinking was too simple. He did it to open up the space. It didn't take long, and he quickly stabilized the space. The size of this space can fit into an Earth. But then he was a little confused, because he didn't create rules. Are you going back to move a planet in the universe? Vegeta frowned and turned to look at Vados. Vados already knew what Vegeta was going to do. Seeing him in trouble at this time, he shrugged and said, I'm sorry, Vegeta, I can't create something out of thin air. I can only use existing things to transform. Maybe you can go to Master Kaien and ask. After all, the Nest of Time was built by herself. I don't know what Vegeta-sama wants. Is it possible to use my glass-generated abilities? Lagus took the initiative to ask. The words that Vegeta said while pretending to be a beep in the fourth time and space, and the dignity above the detachment of the universe, had already impressed her. Now it's opening up a new space in time and space. Lagus suddenly became Vegeta's little fan. At this time, she was thinking about showing it well. However, regardless of Vados's proposal or Lagus's request, Vegeta rejected it. Use Super Dragon Ball. Vegeta said, Vados, you go to Bulma to be a radar, and then collect them together. As for which time and space you decide for yourself, no one will use it for a long time anyway. Wishing bead? Yes, Master Vegeta. Vados was taken aback for a moment, and did not object. As Vegeta said, Super Dragon Ball has not been used a few times in total, just find a timeline. So, what kind of wish do you want? Vados asked. Vegeta said, let the Dragon of God copy a piece of Earth, and strengthen it by the way. At least it must be able to withstand my full blow. By the way, the ecological environment must be the same as the original Earth, with time and solar terms. It's all the same. Even if you can't copy the Milky Way, but standing on this planet, you must be able to see the sun, moon, stars, and feel the temperature of the sun. In short, everything must be the same as the original Earth. Vados nodded clearly. I understand, but am I the only one going there? Where's Lord Vegeta and Lagus? Vegeta said, I'm going to a place, so you can handle things here first. When the wish comes true, bring Bulma over and let her redesign a style. You help transform it. The planet is our home, it's called the Realm of Time, the planet Vegeta. As for Lagus, she can also follow you. Lagus yelled immediately, I want to follow Master Vegeta. In fact, Vegeta didn't want to take Lagus with him. He felt that he could move more freely by himself. But since Lagus wanted to follow him, he didn't refuse, no matter what. She was a beautiful and lovely girl, and staying around always made people feel comfortable. Lagus, you and Haz came from the devil world, right? Vegeta hadn't gotten a good understanding of their situation before. Lagus hesitated for a moment, and nodded. Yes, Master Vegeta. The Dark Demon Realm is the place where the ancient demon gods are sealed, and the universe will occasionally drive some powerful villains to the demon realm. However, I am an aboriginal over there. Many years ago, my ancestors had entered the demon realm. You don't need to worry about anything. Vegeta took a look at her and said, since I keep you by my side, I won't doubt you. Now I just want to know the situation. Yes, Master Vegeta. Lagus breathed a sigh of relief when she heard the words, and her tone was much more relaxed. What is the specific situation in the dark world? In fact, Legoshi can't say. She is an extinct survivor named Glass Clan, who has been staying in the core area. What the Dark Demon Realm pursues is to respect the strong. In order to survive, she has to force herself to become stronger. But she didn't like fighting with people, so although she lived for hundreds of thousands of years, she spent most of her time in cultivation and didn't understand many things. Until the core area broke into a person named Hazy. Haz wants to choose partners there and fight for the freedom of mankind together. But all he wants is the strong, so the number of places that can leave with him is limited. Although most people sneered at Haz's reasons, after knowing that Haz had a way to leave the devil and go to the positive universe, the core area exploded. Everyone fought against each other and fought fiercely, and a bloody storm began. I won't talk about the process. In the end, Laguz, Kamba, Kamin, Olean, and Zamasu will remain. The rest, almost all died. In fact, the goal that Hazy wants to strive for is only Legoshi as his creed. Kamba is not very clear-headed, he just wants to fight against powerful opponents, the rest doesn't matter. Needless to say, Zamasu's purpose is to use Haz to deal with Xeno, and then restart the Human Zero project. It is a pity that his goal conflicts with Haz, and the two sides certainly cannot coexist. Zamasu also understands this, and only then did he start at the Universe Seed. Otherwise, even if he obediently cooperated with Haz and waited until the energy of the Universe Seed was full, Haz would not let him go. As for Kamin and Olean, they are artificial life forms created by the ZVR people in the 6th universe, that is, artificial humans. Only after the ZVR people created them, they feared their power and destroyed them, which led to the distortion of the mentality of Kamin and Olean. They joined the Haz group for revenge and tried to destroy the universe. But it didn't matter how these people were, and Vegeta got a general idea and didn't care too much. However, he learned from Laguz that the reason why Hazy was able to leave the demon realm was because of the help of Father. There seemed to be some secret cooperation between the two parties. Laguz only knew that Fu helped them leave the devil world and taught them how to collect energy, and then borrowed Kamba for a while. Well, Vegeta has sorted out the general plot, but there is not much useful news in it. Regarding Fu's situation, as well as Tova and Mira, Laguz didn't know, let alone where they were. It seems that the dark world is also divided into regions, just like different universes and different planets. I just don't know whether these areas are completely separated, or whether the Legoshi mansion has no contact with the outside world. It seems that I have time to go to the demon realm. I should be able to encounter a lot of interesting things. Vegeta temporarily postponed the matter, and soon brought Laguz out of time and space. At this time they have reached another time and space, and the location is still on the Earth. Where is this place? A pretty good planet. Laguz felt the hustle and bustle on the Earth, her face couldn't help showing a hint of joy. She really is a girl with normal 3 views and a kind-hearted heart, and she has not been swayed by Hazy. Perhaps before Hazy took her to destroy the universe, the reason given to her was to rebuild a better one after tearing everything down? This is the Earth, the place where you fought Haz before. When you passed by, the planet had been destroyed. When Vegeta said such a sentence, he saw Laguz's expression become stiff. Vegeta patted her head and said, "It has nothing to do with you. You are just being used by Haz. You don't need to think about the past. If you like this place, just walk around and take a look. By my side, you have the opportunity to enjoy this kind of life." Although Vegeta hasn't been able to relax himself, these things have nothing to do with the people around him. Now that I knew Laguz's temperament, Vegeta was relieved to let her leave alone. "Thank you, Master Vegeta, following you is definitely the most correct choice I have ever made in my life." Laguz's face was moved. What a naive girl. Vegeta patted her on the head again and led her to a deserted place. "Master Vegeta, shall we not enter the city? What are we going to do?" Laguz followed Vegeta strangely. "Go to a scene." Baguette smiled and said, "Remember to hide your figure later. I want to see some things clearly, so don't show up for the time being." "Okay, Lord Vegeta." Laguz suddenly became curious. Before long, a powerful and evil aura came from the universe, approaching the Earth at an extremely fast speed. After that, several powerful breaths burst out on the Earth, quickly converging towards a certain place. In fact, regardless of the evil breath that is close to the Earth or the breath that erupted on the Earth, their ultimate destination is Vegeta's current past location. Vegeta and Laguz found a more concealed and comfortable position, and even made 2 deck chairs out of rocks. Just after they were seated, the breath of the Earth came over. However, since Vegeta had said in advance that he wanted to hide his figure, he would naturally not be discovered by the other party. Vegeta arrived first, followed by Trunks and Son Goten. Vegeta has a middle-aged appearance and looks calmer, not as irritable as he was when he was young. Trunks and Son Goten are already older young people, and they seem to be a lot more stable. The two sides greeted briefly, and Son Gohan arrived soon, and then another high school girl who looked very similar to Vital came. Xiaofeng, what are you doing here? Son Gohan scolded loudly. This female high school student is his daughter, Xiaofeng. Growing up. Baguette seeing Xiaofeng in the distance, his eyes lit up. Master Vegeta, isn't she what you want to see? Laguz seemed to perceive the strange expression in Vegeta's eyes, and looked a little unhappy. Vegeta couldn't help but smiled. Of course it is not the main goal. If it is just to see her, there is no need to choose this timeline. That said, Laguz was suddenly embarrassed. In the current situation, it is obvious that a strong enemy has arrived. As Vegeta, he can't wait until the critical moment to come out to save the United States, right? But, that person should be the guy who defeated Zamasu at the time. It seems to be called Vegeta. Laguz looked at the middle-aged Vegeta. The timeline here is more than 10 years later than us, and Vegeta should be stronger, right? That's not necessarily true. Vegeta said, this time and space is different from the previous one. Although Vegeta is the same person, the direction of cultivation is completely different, and the opponents you encounter are different. It depends on which time and space is stronger. His performance for a while, now I can't say good enough. This is the GT time and space where Vegeta was here, and it is now 3 years later. Therefore, GT time and space has also begun to enter the plotline of AF. After Vegeta left, super robots and evil dragons will appear in the back. As for the specific development of the plot, Vegeta is not very clear. And now it is 3 years after the evil dragon incident. Vegeta and the others have reached what level they have not really seen their limits. Vegeta naturally can't guarantee. It turns out that this is the case. The strength of the people who came here doesn't seem to be very good. No wonder they all look like enemies. Laguz looked into the depths of the universe. It is said that there is a strong and evil aura gradually coming there, but in Laguz's eyes, the opponent's strength is nothing at all. If it is Vegeta who has experienced the Has incident, he certainly doesn't need to be so nervous. So, although this time and space is 10 years later, but Vegeta is weaker than before? Baguette smiled, did not explain, just said, you'll find out later. Is Vegeta here really weaker than Dragon Ball Super Vegeta? This is really hard to say, but at least for normal combat effectiveness, this time and space Vegeta can sling Dragon Ball Super Vegeta several. As for the invading enemy, it is indeed inferior to Has. But now Vegeta does not have so many helpers. Even Son Goku flew away with Shenron. Even if Vegeta has a super strength than Dragon Ball, he still has to stop. That guy. Vegeta's eyes flashed suddenly. Another dark-skinned guy came on the wasteland, Majin Buu reincarnated, Ueb. Due to Vegeta's intervention last time, Ueb did not fit with Fat Buu like the original, but now it seems that the plot has been repaired by itself. This means that Ueb and Fat Buu finally merged. Maybe it was when playing Super number 17, or maybe it was playing Super Omega Shenron, which was a bit unexpected by Vegeta. They are here. Vegeta suddenly yelled. Everyone who was greeted easily, with awe-inspiring expressions, immediately became vigilant. These guys are still far behind Vegeta. After all, Vegeta's experience is indeed much richer. A universe ship descended from the sky and landed not far from them. In terms of appearance, it looks a lot like Frieza's spacecraft back then, but the aura is much stronger, and even Vegeta doesn't have full confidence in winning the opponent. This is the Earth. It's pretty good. A guy who looked like Frieza but was smaller came out of the universe ship. Behind him was a group of universe people, all dressed up like the Frieza army back then, with the same armor style and the same detectors. On the whole, this is another Frieza army at all. Find Son Goku for me right away. Where is he? The little guy who looked like Frieza ordered. Yes, I'm searching. One of the subordinates probed with the detector, and said in a little astonishment, there are 6 very powerful combat forces, and they are approaching here. Soon, Vegeta and his party appeared in front of this group of people. Through dialogue, I learned that this guy who looks very similar to Frieza is named Azer and is Frieza's son. He was looking for a powerful opponent in the universe. He heard that Son Goku, who killed his father Frieza, was on Earth, so he found him. Azer's purpose is to fight the strong. To be more precise, he likes to kill the strong, and he likes to see those peerless strong who are admired by others wailing under his hands. It's quite interesting, so show me your strength. When Azer heard that Vegeta claimed to be much stronger than Son Goku, he didn't care if Son Goku was not here. The goal was directly transferred to Vegeta. Dad. Uncle Vegeta. Trunks and Son Gohan wanted to intervene, but Vegeta didn't care about them at all, and directly shouted, you don't need to interfere, I will get rid of him alone. Ah. Vegeta clenched his fist and roared, and a powerful breath burst out of his body. His hair turned golden in an instant, and then it stretched quickly, spreading to his waist. The eyebrows disappeared, the eyebrow bones were also lowered, and the whole face was full of fortitude, like a knife. The flames all over her body turned into golden light, maintaining a fixed form, and her whole body was shining with dense blue arcs. Vegeta has become Super Saiyan 3 times. Son Gohan and others were surprised. When Son Goku was there, Vegeta had been practicing assiduously, but he couldn't become a Super 3 anyway. From the Majin Buu period to the Evil Dragon period, Vegeta was not successful for more than 10 years in the middle. He didn't expect that now without Son Goku, he had practiced Super E instead. Even Vegeta, who was watching from afar, was a little surprised. They can already become Super 4, and they have deliberately cultivated Super 3. It seems that Super 3 is really Vegeta's obsession. However, the Super 3 form Vegeta has unexpected strength. Weak. Combat strength. 40 trillion. Is it only at this level? Sure enough, Lord Vegeta was right. He is really different in different time and space, and it's a lot worse. Legoshi raised her brows. Vegeta smiled and said, he still has a layer of transformation that is useless. He is 10 times stronger than he is now. But after all, he is indeed weaker than the time and space you are in. But it is reasonable. After all, the Vegeta in time and space has participated in the universe tournament of power. In fact, it is normal to think about it. Although the timeline of Dragon Ball Super is in the front, what opponents are they contacting? Gods of Destruction Beerus, Shinshiite, Zamasu, 12 Universe Tournament of Power, Prison Planet. And what is in this time and space? A Super Cyborg, a Super Omega Shenron, no more. The horizon determines Saiyan's limit. The Vegeta of this time and space has been nesting on the Earth, and it can be said to be close to the Dragon Ball Super Vegeta. So, are you enlightened? Vegeta grinned. After transforming into a Super 3, it is not that he has a lot of confidence, but that there is a kind of show-off, and it looks a little proud. Sensing the breath of Super 3 Vegeta, Azer was also a little excited, and said, I'll be with you anytime. Bang 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 bang. The two quickly fought together, and the battle was extremely fierce, and the two sides seemed to have entered a powerful rivalry. But anyone with a little eye can tell that Vegeta's breath soon began to weaken. Although Super 3's strength is 4 times that of Super 2, its physical strength and energy consumption are also 4 times more than that. But Azer remained the same as at the beginning, maintaining a heyday, as if the battle just now was similar to a warm-up exercise for him. Awesome, you are the strongest, Azer said with excitement. I have never met a respectable opponent like you. Damn it, his power is far stronger than Frieza, it can't be compared at all. Vegeta felt a little troubled. At this time, Son Gohan received the telepathy from Piccolo. When Vegeta caught this message in the distance, he couldn't help but raise his brow. Piccolo's voice came from hell. So, even though Vegeta rescued him from the Earth explosion, he still died in the Super Robot incident? Or, Piccolo volunteered to go to hell and rescued Son Goku from hell? Of course, Vegeta doesn't care about these things themselves, he just feels a little surprised. The plot that was changed by him was revised to follow the original trajectory in the end? What about other time and space? Would it be the same? It seems that I have time to pay attention. Frieza told me something terrible. Piccolo was introducing Son Gohan about Azer and the Frieza clan. Frieza and his family came from the Ice Demon clan of Winter Star. They covered themselves with ice immediately after they were born, and then entered the thawing period. The longer the thawing period lasts, the stronger the soldier born will be. Frieza's thawing period is 5 years, Cooler's thawing period is 6 years, and Azer's thawing period is more than 50 years. 50 years? Son Gohan looked shocked. This shows he is 10 times stronger than Frieza? The tenfold algorithm, of course, is based on the combat power at birth, not the current combat power. If Azer is now only 10 times as powerful as Frieza's original combat power, then anyone present can sling him at will. Simple calculations seem to be like this, but I have an unclear hunch, you better not hesitate to deal with him with all of you. Piccolo subdued Frieza in hell and learned these things from his mouth. When Frieza learned that his son had become extremely powerful and had descended on the earth, of course he was very happy, so he did not hide it. But it was precisely because Frieza explained everything so simply that Piccolo felt very upset. This family of ice demons is very interesting, there is even this kind of cultivation method. Laguz also heard the telepathy from Piccolo. The dimensions of her and Vegeta are far above Piccolo, as long as the other party does not deliberately guard them, it is easy to intercept these messages. Vegeta also smiled. It's really interesting, but with 10 times the talent, if Azer also understands the transformation of gold, I'm afraid Jiren can't beat him, right? Jiren. I remember this name. It seems to be better than me. Is the golden transformation of the Ice Demon clan so scary? Laguz hadn't seen Frieza or Cooler, so she didn't know the golden transformation. Perhaps. Vegeta was not sure. After all, it is not a timeline, and the basic combat effectiveness is different. And talent is one thing, strength is another. Just like Kakarot, a low-level warrior, let Vegeta, a super genius, chase after him for a lifetime. Uncle Vegeta, let's help too, Son Gohan shouted. He trusts Piccolo very much, and of course his explanation for the latter is executed without hesitation. However, Vegeta didn't buy it, and snorted coldly. I don't plan to rely on you guys who are negligent in cultivation. I'm enough alone. You can watch me by your side. Then let's start. Azer grinned. I look forward to seeing your true strength. Vegeta is obviously at a disadvantage now, but he is still calm and confident. As long as his IQ is not negative, he can basically tell that he has hidden strength. Why are you more capable than I thought? I slightly underestimated you. I'm going to be real next. Vegeta grinned, but did not transform into a Super 4, but burst into a more powerful aura. As a result, his Super 3 state full of energy, after Azer got a little serious, he quickly lost. Don't tell me that this is your full power. If this is the case, you can make me look forward to it for nothing. Azer's face was uncomfortable. Don't worry. This is not my real strength. Vegeta snorted coldly. I didn't expect that I would need to use this state to solve your kind of stuff. Drink. Vegeta clenched his fists, his aura exploded again, and soon went from the Super 3 state of blonde hair to the Super 4 state of black hair and red hair. His tail was pulled out by Vegeta a long time ago. Oh no, it was pulled out by Trunks under the supervision of Vegeta, so unlike the original book, he had to rely on a machine to change his body. Boom. The powerful breath suddenly exploded, directly scraping off a layer of the ground, exposing the yellow-brown soil below. Super 4 Vegeta's combat strength at this time has reached a height of 500 trillion, which is much stronger than the Golden Frieza during the Dragon Ball Super period. It's amazing. Super Saiyan 4. All the little friends showed surprised expressions. For a long time, they hadn't seen this transformation. Let you wait a long time. Super 4 Vegeta said with a face. Now I will let you know, you will regret the consequences of getting serious. Although Azer was surprised, he didn't seem to be scared. He still smiled and said, the people on Earth always make this strange transformation, then we will start the second round. Bang bang bang. In an instant, Azer fell into the wind, and was quickly kicked into the air by Vegeta. Ultimate Flash, attack. Boom. A ball of energy exploded, and Azer couldn't even fight back. He was directly blown up, and his body was wounded instantly. How? So strong. Azer gritted his teeth. He can't even perceive chi. Vegeta was slightly surprised. The strength has reached this level, even the simplest aura induction? Although he was caught off guard by Super 4 Vegeta, Azer's strength is obviously not the only one. To be honest, I really didn't expect you to be so strong, so I will take it seriously next. Azer wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Seriously? You mean you haven't used your strength to fight so far? Vegeta said with a look of disdain. Haha, don't make me laugh. If you want to bluff, please pretend to be a bit like you. Since Son Goku left, Vegeta has clearly regarded himself as the number one in the universe. Frieza's son is not in his eyes at all. Frieza or something, it's the past tense in the past tense long ago. Could it be that? Son Gohan was horrified. He thought of Piccolo's explanation to him. I am afraid there is still some hidden power that Azer has not shown. Ha. At this time, Azer had already begun to improve his aura. Vegeta, who was still disdainful, was taken aback. Only then did he realize that Azer was not bluffing. Soon, after Azer's breath improved, his appearance changed. He was originally the same as Frieza's fourth form, but with a smaller body and a different color. But now that the breath has increased, it is not Cooler's fifth form, but rather similar to Frieza's second form. He is tall and strong, with a pair of horns growing on his head. The strength of Azer's combat power just now was only 60 trillion, which was only stronger than Super 3 Vegeta. And now in this form, the strength has suddenly exploded tenfold, and the combat strength has reached an astonishing 600 trillion, which has completely surpassed Super 4 Vegeta. No. No. Impossible. Super 4 Vegeta sensed Azer's powerful aura, and his face showed horror. So, are you awakened? Azer returned Vegeta's words just now, and then suddenly launched an attack. Vegeta had no time to react when he was surprised, and Azer beat him to the ground in 3 or 2. Goten, Trunks, Ueb. It will be bad if this continues, let's help Vegeta together, Son Gohan yelled. Goten. Let's fusion. Trunks knew that his strength was too weak, so he rushed up like this, I'm afraid it won't help. Okay. Sun Goten had the same idea, of course. Soon, Super 3 Gotenks and Ueb rushed up together. Their combat strength is 200 trillion in the former and 20 trillion in the latter, far from Azer's opponent. Although Azer was caught off guard, Azer was still easy to resist. Sun Gohan didn't rush up, but took out a convenience capsule, took out a small machine from it and handed it to Xiaofang. Xiaofang, shoot at Dad with that gun. This thing is surprisingly a small Boolean light emitter. Xiaofang had seen it before, so she worried. But Dad, if you were irradiated by the bolt's light, won't you become a great ape? I also understand that the current power can't beat him. This is a desperate gamble. Sun Gohan believed in Piccolo's intuition, so he didn't hesitate, and said, Dad, I also want to become Super Saiyan IV. Dad also becomes Super Saiyan 4? Xiaofang was surprised. That's right, that's why I need your help, Sun Gohan said. To become Super Saiyan, you need to be transformed into a great ape first, and then regain personal rationality. So when I become a great ape, I want you to call back to my reason. Your voice can definitely convey it to me. Sun Gohan thought that when Vegeta first arrived on Earth, he accidentally transformed into a great ape. At that time, Son Goku and Klin had yelled at him, and he seemed to have received it. So he guessed that it might be because he has half of the Earth's blood in his body. The probability of regaining his sanity after transforming into a great ape would be very high. Upon hearing this, Xiaofang also chose to believe in her father. After all, the current situation is really critical. Even the Super 4 Vegeta was easily defeated, and none of the remaining people can surpass the Super 4 Vegeta. The Bolt's light wave launcher was easily turned into a golden great ape by Son Gohan. As soon as it appeared, it immediately emitted a huge energy bomb from its mouth, blowing up a mountain range in the distance, and also damaging the few in the battle. People were shocked. Dad. Xiaofang shouted. Dad is me. I'm Xiaofang, it's your daughter. Dad, quickly restore your rationality. The golden great ape was stunned for a while, and suddenly let out a howl of pain. However, it didn't take long for the body to shrink, and after a burst of light, Super 4 Son Gohan appeared. Great, Dad, you have become Super Saiyan 4, Xiaofang yelled happily. It's all thanks to Xiaofang. Super 4 Son Gohan smiled lightly and said, okay, I can also participate in the battle like this. Cut. He learned this kind of transformation right away. It's really uncomfortable. Super 4 Vegeta, who had just crawled out of the ruins, wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Great. Gohan has also become Super Saiyan IV, and the situation is now in our favor. Ueb and Super E Gotenks were overjoyed at the same time. Super 4 Son Gohan shouted, Uncle Vegeta, let us all deal with him together. Damn it. I didn't expect us to get into a hard fight with Frieza's remnant party. Super 4 Vegeta adjusted his breath and walked back. Well, don't hold me back. Yes. Super 4 Vegeta, Super 4 Son Gohan, Super 3 Gotenks, Super Ueb, all four of them broke out all their power at the same time and besieged Azer together. In this case, it is indeed possible to win. Laguz took a look and asked Veget. But Mr. Veget, what do you want to see? Super 4 Vegeta's combat effectiveness is not much weaker than Azer's. As long as he is serious and assisted by others, he still has a great chance of winning. Not to mention that Son Gohan has also successfully transformed into a Super 4. Although the combat strength is not as high as Vegeta, it has also reached a height of 250 megabytes, which is more than enough to play an assist. However, with hundreds of trillions of combat power, just like Laguz could easily sweep a piece by herself, she really couldn't think of what Veget could gain from this battle. Should be soon? If I expected it to be right, Azer's strength should be more than that. Veget raised his brow slightly. In fact, he doesn't know when what he wants to see will appear. He doesn't know much about the plot in front of him. He only knows that a few years from GT time and space, a very powerful enemy will appear. Saiyan of the Earth seem to have transformed further on the basis of Super 4 before defeating this powerful enemy. The purpose of Veget's trip is to study the transformation above Super Saiyan IV, which is Super Saiyan versus. Originally, Veget thought that with the previous few transformations, even if he couldn't easily figure out the way of Super 5 transformations, it would not be too difficult, as long as he spent a lot of effort to do it himself. Unfortunately, after in-depth research, he finally had no clue. Whether it is to strengthen energy control, strengthen emotional changes, or even strengthen the control of fighting rules, it is still impossible to go from Super 4 to Super 5, it is just a simple increase in combat effectiveness. In the end, he could only give up studying alone and ran to this time period. He believed that as long as he let him see with his own eyes how the Super 5 was transformed, he would definitely be able to do it himself. Laguz naturally didn't know this, but was a little surprised when he heard Veget say that Azer's strength is more than that. Is he still hiding a stronger power? Laguz was really surprised, because at the beginning she thought Azer was quite weak, but she didn't expect that a transformation would increase her power 10 times, but now I heard from Baguette, can it be improved? With Azer's current strength, it is no longer weak. If it is increased 10 times, even if Laguz faces him, he can't easily win. For details, let's keep watching. Vegeta shrugged. It's not that he doesn't want to answer, but it's really not clear. These races with the ability to transform, before their strength is fully released, even Vegeta can't see the details of each other clearly. However, judging from Azer's current image, it is obviously impossible to be the ultimate form, and it can definitely be improved. Otherwise, how to force Super Saiyan out of 5? Die. Big Bang attack. At this time, Azer's movements were gradually sluggish under the siege of the 4. After being forced to a blind spot, Vegeta directly launched the final energy offensive. Azer caught it with both hands, but couldn't get rid of this energy bomb in a short time. Taking this opportunity, other people also issued their own tricks. Super Chocolate Ray, Super Uib, Chihei Cannon, Chaosan Gotenks. Vegeta shouted, Gohan, use all your strength and attack in one breath. Yes. Tortoise Pai Chi Gong Bo. Son Gohan yelled hysterically, almost taking out the strength to feed the milk. Rumble. The energy bomb fired by the 4 of them exploded a huge round ball of light on the surface of the earth. However, their realm is very high, and their energy control is much stronger than that of Z period. It will not damage the earth, but it also blows a few hundred miles into a trough. Woo. It's over. Cut, it takes more time than I thought. Son Gohan and Vegeta breathed a sigh of relief one after another, and their whole bodies relaxed. All the men that Azer brought were still there, all of them looked shocked. However, at this time, a figure slowly walked out of the giant pit. No way? Impossible. Is he a monster? In the shocked gaze of Son Gohan and others, Azer slowly walked out of the huge pit, except for some dust, he was unscathed. I'm so happy, thanks to you I can release the pressure, then let me give you a gift back. Azer's face was obviously excited. As long as my true posture is used, you can get out of pain in an instant. Real posture. Then. Let you see my true posture. Ahaha, look carefully. Boom. An incomparable breath suddenly erupted, and this energy was even more astonishing than the energy bomb that the 4 of them had just played together. It rolled up the sky of smoke and dust, covering his entire figure. Soon, the smoke and dust dissipated, the light converged, and the exposed image was somewhat similar to Frieza's 3rd form, except that the head was not that long, and it didn't look that ugly. But the most terrifying thing was his breath, which almost solidified the air. Feeling this breath, Son Gohan and others couldn't even move, shaking all over. Those Frieza army who followed Azer over, under the coercion of this huge breath, one by one, the blood veins were swollen, and the heart rate was too fast to death. Even Xiaofang was holding her heart, her face full of pain. Aha! Azer suddenly exploded, and he bounced everyone away with his breath alone, and then his back figure flashed, and Super Uebjin fell on the ground with 1 foot. The same trick directly stopped the Super 3 Gotenks. Super 4 Gohan wanted to go to the rescue, but only resisted a few moves before he was beaten into the air. After that, Super 4 Gohan almost condensed all the remaining energy and hit a Kamehameha, but was beaten by Azer with a fist, leaving him unharmed. Drink. Azer rushed back, punching and kicking Super 4 Gohan on the ground. Super 4 Vegeta didn't make a move, but gritted his teeth there. It's no longer saved, the earth is over. It's not that he doesn't want to do it, the gap is too obvious, no matter how hard he struggles, it is futile. Stop it. Seeing Gohan being beaten, Xiaofang immediately rushed in angrily. Azer's full blow was easily avoided by her, and then a finger bullet was condensed from her fingertips and hit Xiaofang. Xiaofang. Stop, Azer. The others shouted. Is it here? After a moment of contemplation, Vegeta's figure flashed and disappeared in place. Boo. Azer's finger bullet pierced through Xiaofang's chest, and Xiaofang instantly lost his breath. Xiaofang ooh. I want to kill you. Woo ah. With tears in his eyes, Son Gohan roared in pain, and a huge breath burst out of his body. Crackling. Electric arcs continued to explode on him, and his breath was rising at a terrifying speed. Rumble. A huge mass of energy exploded, and the power was even more terrifying than when Azer was transformed just now. When Son Gohan, who was holding Xiaofang, reappeared, he had completely changed his appearance. The hair, eyebrows, body hair and tail all turned silvery white, and the whole body was shining with electric flowers. Super 5 Son Gohan, here, his face was stern, with blue veins on his forehead violently jumping. After handing Xiaofang to Super 3 Gotenks, Super 5 Gohan stepped towards Azer step by step. It looks like you have changed your form again. Azer, who can't perceive the breath, didn't realize how terrifying Gohan was at this moment. He still smiled and said, I'm curious, can you give me a little more fun? How dare you do something like that to Xiaofang? I will never let you go. Super 5 Gohan gritted his teeth, wishing to skin Azer out, so he didn't stop at all, and directly exploded toward Azer with all his strength. Rush away. Yeah, that's amazing. This is what Mr. Vegeta is waiting for. But why did you bring her? Lagu saw the changes in Son Gohan, and a strange light also appeared in her eyes. This power is quite amazing. But what was even more strange to her was that Vegeta had just flashed away for a while, and when he returned, he brought Xiaofang back. Moreover, this Xiaofang hadn't happened at all. She was standing there with a dull expression, as if she hadn't recovered yet. This is. Xiaofang woke up from the sluggishness. After seeing Vegeta, a layer of mist suddenly appeared in his eyes. Baguette? You saved me? Vegeta patted her head. Don't worry, it's okay, your father ran away for you. Xiaofang looked in the distance, and sure enough, Son Gohan, who had become a Super 5, was beating Azer frantically. The third form of Azer's combat strength has reached 1500 trillion. For their original Earth warriors, this is a very terrifying number. After all, Vegeta has been cultivating for so many years, only 500 trillion in the Super 4 state. Even if Son Goku did not leave, he would probably not be Azer's opponent at this time. Super 4 Son Gohan's combat strength is 250 trillion, and he still managed to transform successfully, yet he has not stabilized this state. At this time, because the ultimate anger detonated the potential in the body, it entered the Super 5 state, and its combat strength was fully increased by 10 times, which is 2,500 trillion. Under this gap, Azer didn't even have the power to fight back, except for being hanged and beaten. Is that really Dad? Xiaofang said in disbelief. Vegeta explained. He watched you get killed with his own eyes, because his anger turned into Super Saiyan 5. Super Saiyan 5? Xiaofang's eyes widened. There is still a Super 5 above Super 4? But seeing that Son Gohan had completely crushed Azer, Azer had no chance. Xiaofang was also completely relieved, and then her attention shifted to Vegeta and Lagu's next to her. For her, Vegeta has been away from this time and space for more than 3 years, and there are many things in her stomach to ask, but now it is obviously not a good time. In the end, she just asked the question she was most concerned about. Have you been watching here all the time? You want to ask. Why don't I help? Vegeta smiled and said, after all, this is not my time and space. I can't stay here forever. If you can solve it by yourself, I don't need to intervene. If I had just shot, how could Gohan become Super Saiyan 5? Are you still leaving? A trace of sadness flashed in Xiaofang's eyes. When she was a little girl, she regarded Vegeta as an idol and didn't know how sad she was when she left. It was hard to see each other now, but Baguette told her that she would leave soon, which was really hard to accept. Baguette patted her head again. I will stay here for some time, so you don't have to show such an expression. Now Xiaofang doesn't seem to be as jumpy as he was back then. After all, he is 16 or 17 years old, and his temperament has matured a lot. Vegeta is not as overwhelmed when facing her. Xiaofang spit out her pink tongue in embarrassment and turned to look over the battlefield. At this time, Super 5 Gohan has already beaten Azer to doubt his life. No. Impossible. It shouldn't be like this. How could there be a person like you? My power was completely lost to you. Not allowed, absolutely not allowed. Azer gritted his teeth with anger, and his teeth made a bang. I want to use all my power to end all this planet, I want to destroy it. Azer let out a furious roar, and gathered his hands together to condense a super energy bomb. Ruined. That powerful aura made Super 4 Vegeta and Super 3 Gotenks all horrified. However, Super 5 Son Gohan still doesn't change his face. Everything you do. Absolutely not allowed. Xiaofang, killed like an ant, you scumbag. Speaking of the last, Super 5 Gohan's eyes were again filled with tears and his face was full of anger. Disappear. Azer hit the energy bomb in his hand downwards, and he wanted to destroy everyone in the earth. Turtle Pai Chi Gong Bo. Super 5 Gohan didn't suddenly hit a ki blast until the last minute, and instantly pushed Azer back with a full blow. What? No. Impossible. Azer's eyes widened, his face full of disbelief. But this is the fact, and it will not change because of his will. Soon, Azer was directly blown up under the ki blast of Super 5 Gohan, leaving no bones left, and the remaining pile of ashes was pushed far into the universe space, leaving no trace. As for the subordinates he brought, as early as when Azer became the third form just now, because he couldn't bear the pressure of his breath, his heartbeat died quickly. After solving Azer, the breath in his heart eased, and Son Gohan immediately returned to normal. Woo. He beat the ground in tears, seeing Vegeta and Gotenks talking speechlessly, surrounded by a deep emotion of sadness. Wait. Gotenks was taken aback for a moment. Where is Xiaofang? Xiaofang is gone. Son Gohan handed Xiaofang to him just now. After he took it over, his attention had been focused on the battle between Gohan and Azer, but he didn't notice it. I don't know when Xiaofang was no longer with him. What? Son Gohan raised his head suddenly, a strong suffocation suddenly radiated from his body, as if he was treating Gotenks as an enemy. Originally, when Xiaofang died before his eyes, Son Gohan was already on the verge of collapse. Now even the body is gone. Where can he remain calm? Dad. I am here. Fortunately, at this time Vegeta brought Xiaofang over. Xiaofang appeared intact, not to mention the scars, even the clothes were intact, and it even made people wonder if she was the person who was penetrated by Azer's heart by a gas bullet. Xiaofang. You're not dead. The evil spirit on Son Gohan's body instantly disappeared, and his face showed ecstasy again. Baguette. It was Vegeta who saw Vegeta at first sight. The expression on his face was very complicated, but on the whole it was quite agitated. After all, he was able to transform into Super Saiyan IV, thanks to Baguette's guidance. I thought I was dead just now, because Vegeta saved me. Xiaofang smiled and stuck out her tongue, looked at Son Gohan and said, Dad, you look so ugly when you cry. Ha. Son Gohan scratched his head awkwardly, and then he was dizzy. After experiencing a battle beyond the limit, and experiencing great compassion and great joy, Son Gohan has reached the limit, both physically and mentally. After confirming that Xiaofang was really fine, she rolled her eyes and fainted. It's Gotenks fusion time. Goten comes to help take care of Gohan, and Trunks takes care of Buu. Not long after, Bulma and Beulah came over in a plane. Put them on the plane and go to Dend for treatment first. Bulma saw that the matter was over and did not ask other questions at this time. Don't be so troublesome. Vegeta smiled slightly, stroked his hands, enveloped everyone in it, and teleported to the celestial temple with a sigh.